victory or get prepped for a fight. Your favorite handful of die-hard dice tonight. Against those high DCs, a 20 would be nice. Please no one's die-hard dice. Need a crit, you gotta roll with die-hard dice. Let's get dangerous. Die-hard dice. Die-hard dice. Rolling scrolls and misshaped spheres, it's so hard to decide. So many colors and designs the Die Hard can provide. Which ones should I procure? So give me some advice. You need some Die Hard dice. Oh well, we suggest you roll with the best. Die Hard dice. Let's get dangerous. Die Hard dice. Don't be dice jail for these bad boys. Die Hard dice.
Hello, Goonies! Thank you all for joining us. This is Shenanigoons, an industrial fantasy D&D game where you contribute to the chaos. And how do you contribute, you might ask? Well, you can contribute with your gold. Above Adelaide, you can see the emergency party fund tracker, which really doesn't tell you much. But for every bit that is donated to our stream, Bonnie will find a copper hidden somewhere. And below Merrick, you can see some other fun options. Using the Tip This Show link, down below, you can donate $10 to gift a reroll to any player or the DM. For $15, you can choose one player, and we will spin the wheel of causality, inflicting some random horror upon that player. For $25, you can give me the name, race, and a brief description of an NPC that I will introduce into the game as soon as possible. And lastly, for $50, you can give a character a time stop moment. This allows the character to step out of time and achieve something amazing, basically giving them DM-like powers to control a single situation. So I'd like to say hello and thank you for being here for our final episode for the series season campaign and final second to last episode for this block of Shenanigoons is we'll have our epilogue next week. So if you're interested in finding out what happens after the campaign ends to our players, or if you have any questions you'd like us to answer, we will be here next week to handle all of that and to hear what the characters have been doing in the years beyond the end, if they're still here. So hello, players.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
To
We
Shenanigans.
just got a subscription.
Why,
We love that
thank
you
you for that
subscribed.
subscription.
You've tuned
You
in
are
to
welcome.
Shenanigans.
Thanks,
and
Mike.
No one here was bribed.
Such a
Mayhem,
wonderful
magic,
entrance for you to
mystery
be so generous.
is
Thank you.
usually the vibe.
It is
So
a vibe.
strap in for Shenanigans. You're awesome. You subscribe.
See, I do jazz hands for all of them. I just have a different expression on my face.
Fair enough.
Sad jazz hands, happy jazz hands, Beastie Boys jazz hands. What do Beastie Boys jazz hands look like? There you go. Oh, that was perfect.
No,
It's just
it
like
does.
in your face. Just you're missing fingers. Got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how are you all doing today? You all excited and ready for this?
I have been ready
I am-
since
Yeah.
a week ago.
I was.
Basically, we're just delaying and
Autumn.
waiting for these things to happen. Thank you,
Pretty
Autumn.
much, pretty much. Still can't believe I hit these notes.
I didn't know this was you.
Hashtag autotune.
Yeah. Hashtag singing in the rain.
No,
Only some of you will get that reference.
is usually the fun.
And this is what we do. We sit here and
Yep.
we make goofy faces
Don't
while
die.
we listen to some of ourselves sing
Mike
songs.
Mike
about
makes a
Simpsons.
very salient point. We sit here and we don't die.
That's true. If
That-
people just keep subscribing the entire night, we can't actually play.
We
the
can't
game
end
ends
the
and you're
game.
all still alive.
No,
So
the game doesn't end. We just have to come back next week and
keep subscribing.
play a game. But then everyone subscribes again, and then you can't end the game. And then
I think this is a great idea. Or if we're too busy spinning wheels, or whatever.
To quote
The-
Gandalf, the road goes ever
The
on
stream.
and on.
We actually play about 140 minutes a night. So if it's a minute of DM powers per $50, that's just 100. So I'd be okay with this. So
Yeah, I think so too.
all right.
Anyway,
I like to pay bills. It's a silly thing I like to do sometimes.
so anyway, the apocalypse behind you, Logan. Please
Recap.
illuminate on that.
Illuminate,
God.
ruminate, and illuminate. Will Crossway has told me I should start having fun with words and rhymes.
You mean you
I
haven't
approve.
already?
You're right. You can only subscribe once, but every month you can come back and you can remind us of that subscription, and we'll play another song for you.
Which is true.
Is that it? Are we good?
Is it?
Are we ready for the recap?
Are we?
All right.
We're playing chicken.
I know
we were
one of you
playing
fuckers
D&D.
is sitting there just wait. So, let's go ahead and recap last time for the last time on Shenanigoons. Bonnie took the time to get to know her estranged father and walking away wishing she hadn't. She then met with the others up on deck and they began to conspire against the Admiral and decide when and where they would make their move. Little did they know that Sea Spray, as usual, was one step ahead of them. An emergency sending from Ignatius to Merrick telling him that his mother had been poisoned and is dying would cause Merrick, Val, and Arthur to leave the ship and return home. It's going a little too fast this week. Shortly after, a stern sending from her father would see Adelaide doing the same. Bonnie quickly discovered that it wasn't just her friends that had left the ship, but everyone save for her father and the duplicates that he had created of Ig and Birchfield had vanished. The ship landed at the Shattering, and Bonnie removed her amulet to try to contact her friends, but some strange magic had caused her to pass out. The other characters quickly discovered the ruse and attempted to teleport back to the ship with no success, but Val, remembering that she had a ring of 3 wishes, used it to return them to Bonnie. As they appeared, they found Bonnie laying on the ground, well taken care of and just coming around, and Sea Spray was walking towards the Shattering. The characters readying themselves for battle, but before they can strike, a bolt of energy from the Shattering strikes Sea Spray down. The characters spend several moments trying to figure out what happened and trying to destroy the Nexus Manipulator, only to discover that both the Manipulator and Sea Spray were fakes. Sea Spray had been in the Nexus the entire time. Merrick rushes in, while the others take a moment to prepare, but quickly Merrick finds out that his haste has consequences. Moving too quickly past the Nexus itself, he enters the Feywild and spends the next 10 months lost, trying to find, trade, and deal his way back. He reappears at the time and place he left, appearing next to the others, but before he could take a moment and explain, another Merrick steps into the scene, one that hasn't seen this 10-month journey, and knows nothing about it. The party decides it's best to move along instead of spending more time on yet another distraction. Running into the Nexus, the characters find themselves separated, each experiencing some sort of vision that has placed them some point in their past. They're each asked questions by people they know, but who aren't themselves. Cryptic queries into the characters' histories and motives. We ended with Bonnie sitting as an observer in Admiral Sea Spray's vision, a difficult scene which mirrored her own vision. Sea Spray comes into the scene with his wife and daughter Delia, and a touching moment showing the Admiral's love for his first daughter. He looks up with a start as he locks eyes with Bonnie, who in turn realizes that she can be seen. A dark, deep voice comes from his wife. Would you kill one to save the other? And we will now return to that scene. So, Bonnie, you are standing there in this seaside house, which you thought was yours, but is not. Sea Spray comes in and leans down to his daughter and says, "What do you want to do today?" She says, "Sailing." And he smiles and grins, looks up, and turns down the music. Is that better? He smiles to his daughter and says, "Of course." And just as he's about to pick her up, he looks up and sees you. And you lock eyes. He stands up and the scene freezes. Somehow, a second version of the audio had been turned on. Is that better? That should be better. Okay. So he leans down or he looks down, about to pick up his daughter. He looks up and sees you, and stands, and the scene freezes. The voice is heard from his wife. "Would you kill one to save the other?" And he hesitates for a moment, but not as long as you'd hoped, before whispering yes. And it repeats as you start to hear a familiar sound of splintering wood, the vision crumbling around, just like yours did. And at some point in the future, hopefully you learn that the others did as well. The parts of the scene that are not important disappearing and fading away. And you hear the voice repeat, "Would you destroy one to save the other?" And he doesn't hesitate. He says, "Yes," a little louder.
You don't have to do this.
And as you say that, you hear more of this splintering as the wood starts to fly, almost in slow motion around you, just different bits of shards of broken wood shooting through the air, motion blurred by their speed, but drifting slowly. And you hear the voice again. "Would you remove her from existence to save one?" And he almost scoffs. "Of course, yes, twice." "I would remove everyone from this planet to bring my daughter back."
You don't have to give either of us up. You don't. If you go back, sure, you may not have the pain of having lost her, but you'll also lose your knowledge of how to protect her from what's going to happen to her. I can help you keep her safe. You may not know or feel that loss if you do return, but you won't be able to appreciate having her back either. I have spent my entire life trying to be a daughter that you could be proud of. Let me have that chance. You don't have to choose. Please, Daddy, let me be there for you both.
As you finish what you're saying, you see that Delia has wrapped herself around his leg, clinging to him, looking at you, crying. Not because she's afraid of you, not because she's scared of what's happening, but because she seems to understand your pain. And you hear the voice again. And it says, would you condemn her to save him? And it's directed at you.
No. She's an innocent.
And you see her, Delia's face, pale a little, and her tears dry, and her features become more adult, more aged. And it says, once again, it speaks and says, would you sacrifice yourself for his happiness?
Yes.
And the face on this small little girl becomes even more aged and completely pale. And it sort of, its mouth, its jaw drops a little, the mouth opens, you can see these fangs inside of its mouth. Would you sacrifice your friends for this man's happiness?
No.
And you look around, and the building has completely vanished. The mother is gone, and Delia fades away, turning to dust as the wind blows her into the Nexus. He walks over to you and looks you in the eyes. She deserves a chance to live. Just let go.
I don't
You've had time. She didn't. It's going to happen one way or another. I would prefer that you accept it. Then no one else has to be hurt. No one else has to get in the way, because you know your friends will.
If I let go, they're still gonna get in the way. They'll just be more angry and more determined. Has to be a way that you can have us both and get what you want.
I want my life back with my daughter, Delia. I don't care about you. And the scene completely fades to black. You find yourselves standing together. Bonnie, in what state are you in? Bonnie?
I couldn't hear what you said. I'm so sorry. I just heard Bonnie.
I said all of you
I
are
heard.
standing together. What state are you in?
Deep in
Oh,
thought.
I'm
Deep,
sorry.
deep
I
in
did.
thought.
I apologize that you cut out for me. She's got tears rolling down her cheeks. She's not sobbing; they're just kind of flowing.
So, as you kind of appear and everyone looks to Bonnie, having had these visions, you see Bonnie and Adelaide, Val, Kyle, who doesn't like to change his name on the name tag, to
Sorry.
Merrick, Merrick, and of course the other Merrick, Brindle Hooves, who has these gigantic wide eyes and has a hoof up, like testing to see where his kidney might be, and you have Arthur, who is also there now, and Arthur is carrying a sack lunch. He's got a little brown paper bag, and on it there are two names. One of them says Merrick, but that's crossed off, and underneath it says Arthur. And inside the little A on Arthur, there's a little heart inside the A. And if one of the people I shared that with earlier would like to share that with chat, I did make a graphic for it.
Yep.
Because it was just too great an idea.
I have the art.
He did. Do you have it? I answered. Do I need to get it?
I have it.
Which Arthur would have gotten from Liara when he went to test and check on her, and from the poisoning last week, and then returned to Ig and was teleported back here with you all. Ig having used some of his incredible influence to get whatever happened to get him here, and him appearing with his sack lunch, and of course across from you is Admiral Seaspray, about 50 feet away or so. And he is looking around and he picks up his bag and he juts it open. And then he looks up. He looks angry. And all around you, you're in this sort of weird mist, this orange kind of swirling cloud vapor, which is a redundant statement. And as you're looking through the mist, every once in a while, you see something laying on what constitutes the ground in this place, this nexus. It's the Nexus Manipulator. But each of you sort of sees it as you're looking around and through the mist at different places in different ways. It seems it's either all around you or there are many of them. And Admiral Seaspray throws his bag down. He sees the same thing and he glares at you. Roll initiative.
Hi guys, what I miss?
Kill him.
I mean,
Oh, that's a shame. No, same, Val. Exact same.
I rolled a 12.
is it bad that
10.
even
God
after
damn it.
that I don't care about you? Bonnie still doesn't want to kill him.
Ugh.
That's because
I can
Bonnie's
only
a
make
good
him a villain
person.
so much.
I know.
It's okay. We can treat him like a villain for you.
God, did we get the same?
Happily.
Bonnie and Seaspray have the same initiative roll
Plus
as
4.
well. Plus 4.
What's your wisdom? I win.
So many duplicates in initiative today.
You know, Kyle G does an amazing thing where he rolls these types of rolls before the stream starts, and I really need to get used to that because that would help out a lot. So season 2, that's one of my goals.
Cool.
It is. It is.
Have an initiative or two ready before we start. That'd be a really good thing. Do we have the
become
initiative set up, Heather?
divination wizards.
Oh, no, but I
Oh,
can do it.
You know, sorry, you normally do it like literally every combat this entire game so far, but that's okay. You had a
He's
late
special, okay? We're all a little
I
off
had a
today.
long day.
I know. This is the first Tuesday you've had to work in a long time, and it's our finale, of course.
Who comes
Seaspray
first
goes first.
between? No, I know, but between Merrick and Arthur, because they tied all.
Between those two, Seaspray goes first.
You know,
And
Yeah.
4.
And Merrick
not,
1 or Merrick
not
2?
4.
Both of them will go on the same initiative.
Oh, I should roll for Telemachus.
How?
Unless Telemachus isn't around.
Sure.
Okay.
And Brindlehoos will also go on your initiative, Adelaide.
What's Adelaide's dex?
4.
We get all
You
paired
go
up?
first.
Yeah.
everybody
That's
paired.
amazing.
Valid, Addie, Arthur and Merrick, and Seaspray and Bonnie.
It's the true power of the compass
Yeah.
to pair up initiative rolls.
So, Sea Spray, looking through this. 1 second, we're going to see how well this works. Go ahead. Do it. Earthquake! All right, go.
He tried real hard.
He did a really good. He did exactly what I told him to do, it didn't screw up the camera. Okay. There's a computer issue that I created, and the child needed the iPad. So, that was all my fault. So I apologize for the earthquake. All right. So the very first thing that happens in this swirling mist, you're not quite sure how big of an area this is. You know, he's about 50 feet away, but these and every one of these versions of the Nexus Manipulator all around you seem to be within about 20, 30 feet, at least one of you at any time. And he turns and looks into kind of the mist. He reaches out his hand, and the ring on his finger starts to glow, this kind of bluish energy. And the Nexus Manipulator flies into his hands. And he holds on to it, and he just grins and looks over, waiting for his next turn. He's done. Bonnie.
This is what we call an Ashport standoff.
Yep.
All Nexus manipulators.
Bunny
Man in the background.
bends her cape, tips her hat.
Her
That's
very fine hat.
She is going to try and polymorph him into a mouse, so he cannot hold on to the Nexus Manipulator.
All right. So what do I have to
Wisdom
say?
save.
What does that look like?
Let's see. So Bonnie touches the hilt of Azure Edge, which is her spell focus now, and does draws it and does a flourish, but instead of charging to attack, actually casts through it and just goes squeak squeak and hopes he drops.
He rolled a 19 save, so I don't think that does it.
By 1. He
At
made
level
it by
10, you're an
1.
18? That's insane.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So he kind of turns and he looks at your squeak squeak and tilts his head a little bit, not quite sure what's going on. Are you done?
No, she's gonna lean over to Merrick that spent 10 months away and give him a kiss and give him bardic inspiration.
Well, we know who the favorite is.
She just assumes.
Let's see. Merrick's luck. That's the prime. Got it.
It is yet to be determined.
So she gives him bardic inspiration.
All right.
Thank you.
Bonnie, you're familiar. No, Adelaide, you're familiar because Bonnie doesn't have one.
Adelaide just sort of pushes off Telemachus off her arm, and Telemachus is going to head towards. He's going to do the aid action, and he's going to help. Let's say the other Merrick, the Merrick she didn't kiss.
Okay.
A bird's just as good. And basically sailing past that Merrick over his shoulder towards Sea Spray in an attempt to kind of distract Sea Spray enough that the Merrick can find an opportunity to strike. So aiding Merrick.
Okay. All right. So that's aiding Merrick. Merrick, which one's going first?
The one that got the good luck kiss.
Okay.
So old Merrick, and
Ooh,
then
Merrick.
or no, classic Merrick, and then there'll
Classic
be
Merrick.
new Merrick.
Perfect.
New car smell
And very
Merrick.
soon, Crystal Merrick. He's just always invisible.
One is just a number.
Oh man, I got
Yes.
one of those
Merrick
holographic
one.
Merrick cards.
Two Merricks is a
Ooh.
Perrick. Yes, thank you, Matthew.
God
That's-
damn it.
And then the next one will have Merrick with
love
Jar
it.
Jar Binks printed on the side.
Misa Merrick Prime.
Yeah.
He's having existential crisis.
So Merrick Alpha will I guess just draw his short bow and make an attack. Super creative. Straightforward. He has no fucks to give. And because I'm a halfling, I'll re-roll that. That's much better. So that's going to be a 27 to hit. It's like the opposite end of the spectrum.
So you 27, that hits.
Okay.
I was trying to add up damage in my head, and I realized that was not damage; it was still 2 hits. So that was my fault.
No worries. So it's going to be because he's not.
That was me saying, "Don't read anything into it."
Oh, okay.
Into my hesitations. It was not. It was because I was trying to brain. Sorry, I'm telling the audience, not you.
For 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Magical
So
piercing.
9 points of piercing damage. As you strike him, your blade actually just goes right through him.
It was an arrow.
Your arrow definitely goes right through him. But you still seem to feel and understand that it did something. It did not. You did not waste it. You have this understanding that that's maybe just how things work here, but that it still matters.
Okay.
Okay.
Then he's going to use his bonus action to move, and Merrick Dose will move up to use his cunning action to move up and attack with a short sword.
Okay.
How about a 22 to hit?
22. That hits.
All right. Not for much. That's going to be 6 points of. I think a short sword is also piercing.
As
Not
you
magical
run
this time.
run him through with your short sword, it also seems to go through him. Although he doesn't seem to feel it or take pain or kind of whinge against it. He did kind of like obviously get shocked, but he just kind of looks at you and kind of smirks, not seeming to quite understand what might be happening.
Just thought it was worth a shot.
But you still felt the resistance. You still felt like you stabbed someone.
All right, next up.
Does he look like he's taking damage at all?
Not that you can see yet. If somebody would like to take the time on their turn to look really hard, you can make a perception check as an action. Arthur.
Well, Arthur this happened just right after he appeared. He finishes eating his spinach puffs last
Nice.
bite and charges after beside Merrick 1 and number 2. On his way there, he casts Booming Blade on his war pick and swings twice. Does a 14 hit?
No.
Well, that misses. Does a 29 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
You roll a 2 and a 19? Jesus Christ.
A 4 and a 19.
All right.
Because it was a 14. So that's going to do 16 damage. 7 of which is thunder.
Okay. So the thunder, you hear the thunder and cracking boom, and your war pike stabs through him. And like I said with Merrick, you do feel the resistance. It's like you're hitting a body, but you don't see any damage. There's no blood. There's no, it just doesn't seem to be doing anything to him. But you do feel like you're doing something. You have the satisfaction, you have the understanding in your brain that it does matter.
Okay. I stand my ground.
Adelaide, are you going first, or is Brindlehooves?
I'll go first. Adelaide gets sort of this image of Lawrence from the vision in the back of her head, and just kind of instinctively is like, fuck magic, and pulls her bow and will let off 3 attacks. One using up one of my reactions to tug at my bow tie for an additional shot. So 3 attempts at hitting him with her longbow. 20, 23, and 28.
2 hits, 20 does not.
Ooh, okay. 24 magic piercing damage, and because I hit him, I would also like to use one of my arcane shots. I am going to request that he make a wisdom saving throw.
23.
Okay, nothing happens. Little burst of shadow, but it immediately dissipates.
And your arrows goes directly all the way through him, but any magic that's on them does seem to dissipate when it hits him, so you think that it is staying and dealing with him, as opposed to you're missing. Just because the physical goes through it doesn't mean you're not hurting him or affecting him. Are you done?
Yes, I am done.
As Brindlehood turns and looks at you and goes, "Oh God! So do you want offensive or defensive?"
Is the horn just decoration, or can you actually hit something with it?
That would be one of the offensive options. Offensive or defensive?
Offensive.
All right. Let me tell you my favorite. Let me tell you why I'm always worried about them stealing my kidneys. And he takes his horn and kind of swirls it around, and he leans forward, and out of the horn start shooting these very large boulders that fly and start to, normally would hit the person they're going after, but they just start to fly and just pass through him. But
Adelaide puts a hand to her head and just goes, "Please tell me those aren't kidney stones."
You got it.
Oh.
And
I'll allow it.
As he starts to laugh a little bit at his joke, Sea Spray again just kind of stands there laughing that he's not feeling any of this damage, but he feels that he's actually completely put down his guard. He doesn't really seem to be dodging any of the attacks anymore. So everyone gets advantage on attacks for melee or ranged or anything. Time you're rolling on attacks, you get it because he has stopped to kind of focus on the manipulator.
Is he going to get disadvantage on saves then?
No, because he's it depends on what it is. If it's a dexterity based save for, then he probably will just automatically fail it because he's not going to move out of the way. But if it's mental, that still happens. Val.
I'm going to use one of my wishes on my Ring of Three Wishes to cast an 8th level Disintegrate.
Okay. All right, so that's going to do what? How much damage?
It's a dex save, and I get to roll 16d6 plus 40.
Roll
them. She's done. I don't know how much damage it's actually going to do, but she doesn't know that, so... That's 105.
Okay. So as this disintegrate beam blasts through him, you start to finally see how, just because it was so much damage all at once, how this is starting to affect him, although he hasn't quite realized it yet. As this blast goes through him, you see his image fade. And it's almost as if he's like at an 80% transparency or 20% transparency right now. So he's got about 80% opacity. And so you can just kind of see just barely through him. And as the disintegrator being blasted through him, it just kind of faded down to that. So you think the more and more you're damaging him, the more he's fading away. Are you done, Val?
Yep.
Speaking is a free action, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Val,
To a
target-
degree.
Target the manipulator.
I thought we said Brenda Hoods was going to go on Adelaide's initiative.
She and I have the same
Oh,
initiative.
okay. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm
No,
last.
he doesn't need a special one, is all. So yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Adelaide slash.
That's everyone. Top of the order, right?
Yeah.
So Sea Spray attempts to use the Nexus Manipulator.
And he blows up. Weird. Game over.
I don't have the right die in front of me. Hold on. All right, let's do it this way.
Yeah, it's the pyramid shaped one, Logan.
You want a 1 in 4 chance that it's the correct one?
Oh, sorry. Please continue. It's the one with 10 on it.
And then he throws it to the ground.
Maybe hold that thought.
Yeah. That's actually why I targeted him and not the manipulator, because there's so many that I didn't know if he had the right one.
However, in that moment, he does look down and see that he is starting to fade, and he does not look happy. That was his turn. On.
Bonnie has Azure Edge out and she looks down at it and goes, he's a little far away. Let's see what we can do. And she, this is going to be a little interesting. She uses its special ability to chuck it at him as it has a thrown property.
Nice.
Into him, hopefully. Do I still have advantage?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
Which
fine.
direction?
He's still kind of realizing what's happening.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Appropriate.
So let me do some damage. And I had advantage so I can add sneak attack, yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I forgot you were a rogue.
Unfortunately, with him kind of realizing it now, whose turn was it that I said he started to fade?
It
Val's?
was right after. That was after.
Okay, so
Val.
when it gets back to Val's turn, that will be gone. He will kind of have realized it and jump back into his defense.
He'll go
range.
next after that anyway. That's the,
Oh yeah, okay,
she's the
good.
end
So
of
all
the
right,
round.
so for the next turn, yeah, everyone will have advantage on any attacks roll.
So that's 33.
But he probably will take the dex saves at this point, just because it's that's reflexive. He is on the defensive now.
That's 33 points of magical slashing, and
Alright.
as she chucks it, she starts running. So as the blade comes back to her, she's there to meet it halfway for her next attack.
Nice.
And attacks again. Does a 22 hit?
Yep.
And that is another 13 magical slashing. And then
Okay.
she's right up in his face. And I dropped a die.
Caltrops, Bonnie's one
Caltrops.
weakness. Well,
Where'd it
that and
go?
Dad's, but other than that.
All right. Are you done? Telemachus.
And that is my turn.
Telemachus is just gonna keep making those looping circles and continue assisting Merrick.
Prime.
Just keep making
No, Merrick 2.
Merrick 2.
Got it. Merrick 1 and 2.
Cool. Second verse, same as the first.
Get him.
Get to re-roll that. Cool. That is a nat 20.
Okay.
I'm not lying about that.
I think we should all get
So-
those this round.
Yeah. Just spread them around, share with the class.
Yep. So that's 30 plus 1, 2. So 30 plus, where is it? Sorry. 30 plus 54. That's 84 points of magical piercing damage. from a sneak
Okay.
attack.
So he fades a
much
bit.
better at this
You
than
notice
Molly.
he's fading a little bit more.
And the second one, he's at advantage, so 15 won't hit. But 23, I bet will. So we have 9, 15. Dang, man. 20, 26, 29, 33 points of non-magical piercing damage.
Okay, nice.
And they like look at each other and just like nod appreciatively. Oh shoot. That first one, the short bow, I'm gonna roll me a D100.
Oh no.
Oh no!
For what now? I
Uh-oh.
miss it. Oh, a
He
crit.
has a magic item.
That's right.
That moment, the DM
That magic
regrets
Remember-
handing out advantage.
That wild magic moment.
Let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
95.
Whew.
95 floofs.
For the rest of
Appear.
this combat, everybody around you gains vulnerability to piercing damage.
Well, good thing we're not attacking you guys with arrows.
Yeah.
Cool. You're welcome.
Thanks, Mary.
So it's that much easier to become ordained. Holy.
Oh. I was like, I wasn't aware that Brosnan was a priest.
All right. That was Merrick and Merrick
If we
Arthur.
go through Mamma Mia, then that's piercing damage.
It's- I'm going to cast Branding Smite and then take another swing.
God damn it, Angela.
Oh,
23
it's so
hit.
That was very good. 23 hits, yes.
And that's one.
good.
And hopefully the last.
It was
It was
worth
a
it.
natural 1 hit.
No, it doesn't.
My second attack is a 1. You can handle that after I do the first
It
damage.
has been so long since we've rolled nat ones. What do we do in this
Yeah,
system now?
just wait for me.
What do we do on nat ones in the system? I can't remember. We're
You
all
get
lost.
crazy
It's been
usually.
so long.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what we did for them. It literally has been months.
You asked if we wanted hero dice, usually. Formerly.
Formerly, but we haven't been using hero dice in a long time.
True. That was for countless heroes.
So this attack does 21 radiant and 8 thunder and 11 pick, whatever
Okay.
that is.
Piercing,
Piercing.
which means it actually does 22 piercing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Very cool. Okay.
And my second attack was a 1, so I don't know what you're doing with that.
I don't know either yet. I'll figure that out in a minute.
Okay.
Adelaide, you or Brindlehooves?
Brindle Hooves, just keep doing that awful thing.
Oh, I can't do that one anymore.
Well, what else can you do? Just
Offense or defense? That's all you got to tell me.
defense.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
Well, he went second last time. Do you want him to go now first? this
Sure,
time?
sure.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
Uh,
Defense.
so you might regret asking for this, as in front of you he swirls his horn and this line of magic kind of appears across between you, about 20 feet to either, well, about 30 feet to either side of you, 60 feet, yeah. And then all of these stones start to fall down from the sky, almost like a Connect Four sort of style thing, creating this wall of the same exact stones that he had used in the previous spell. There you go. That's my wall of kidney stones.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Most of my
Adelaide
magic
going
is
to-
very gross.
Adelaide is going to book it for the closest Nexus manipulator to herself.
Okay. It's 20 feet
and
away.
then
You
I'm
can get
going-
there.
Okay. Does it take an action for me to be able to handle it, or like pick it up or
Moving,
grab it?
pick up, and then it's an action to activate it.
Okay. I'd like to move to the next manipulator. I would like to use my action to use my ring of telekinesis and pull the next closest to where Papa Sea Spray is, and I want to pull that 30 feet towards me.
You can't quite see where they all are, and they seem to be moving almost like they keep appearing near you
then I would
guys.
like
So
to grab a second one.
Sure.
Then I just want to grab a second one and pull it 30 feet
you
towards
now
me.
have, and that one 30 feet from you, 20 feet. They're about that one could be like 5 feet away from you, or maybe 10 feet. You could just walk
That's
over and pick
fine.
it up next turn. But yeah, and you can
Yeah.
pick this one up as a free action as well.
Okay.
So
And then I would
that
like
would
to
be
use
it.
my action surge to
Take another-
try to use it.
Cool. All right. Roll a d12 and give me what you're trying to do with it.
Oh, what are you gonna do with a reality manipulator? I
I'm
rolled
also
a
going
9.
to limit the amount of time you have to think about this, what you're going
That's
to be
fine.
doing. So,
I rolled a 9,
okay.
and I would like Sea Spray to become so feeble that he can't handle the manipulator. I just want him to just collapse on the ground completely.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you pull it up and you attempt to use it, and you feel absolutely nothing. You're fairly sure this is not a real one, the real one.
Throw it down.
Okay.
But eyes on the other one.
Foul. So did you run up last turn?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So there is now a wall of kidney stones between you and Sea Spray.
It impenetrably.
No, you can
can't
30
see
feet. You can go to either side and see around it. So you cannot see through it though.
Okay.
They stack perfectly.
Good for
It's
that.
unicorn
That is
magic. Unicorn kidney
Highly
magic.
disturbing. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to use disintegrate again and use up my ring, or just attack with what I already have. And none of my friends are injured right now, so don't need to heal
Why would
anybody.
you say that to him? Well, now he's gonna do it.
In his face, I'm hoping that I'm a bigger and badder target than Merrick or Arthur at this point.
Okay, how?
Since I'm the one who wants gone.
Yeah, well, yeah. But how far away am I from them at this point? Is it still 50 feet? Since I didn't run up at all?
Yes, it's still 50 feet, but you got a big wall between you. So it's actually 60 feet, 30 out and 30 back.
Okay. I'm going to run 30 out.
So then
So
you're at
that I
the
can at
wall, so you
least
can kind of see around and see everyone.
See, exactly. So I can at least see what's going on the other side. Sorry, I wasn't sure what was going to happen before me. So, okay. I am going to cast a 5th level, where'd it go? Oh, wait, that's a rain. Oh, no, I target a creature. Okay, I'm casting Blight,
Okay.
because I'm within 30 feet of him now. I need a con save.
23.
Okay, well, he makes the save, so he takes half damage, which is half of 98.
9d8, not 98, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Half of 9d8s.
You've
sorry,
just
10
solved like a
D8s. I
universal
forgot.
problem. Like just say eights, like say it as a plural, and then you'll never wonder if that's.
So half of 45. So what is that? 22. So he takes 22 necrotic.
Okay.
And no one's near enough for me to reach out and touch their weapon at this point, right?
No.
Okay, so I think that'll be it. Yeah, that's going to be it for now.
All right, sea spray. So sea spray, sea spray pulls up a trying to think of how this would look. Sea spray, I guess, yeah, it doesn't really cause, it's a magic item. It doesn't really he doesn't have to do anything for it. So he just kind of dissipates into mist, which you see fly off into this orange mist next to one of the manipulators and reappears there, picks up the manipulator, turns towards the large group and tries to activate it.
That's obnoxious.
And as he does, he grins and passes the charisma check. And the 10-month-old Merrick instantly disintegrates and vanishes. Just scattering into the wind. And over the next couple of rounds, your memories of him will start to fade. They will not be lost completely, but it just becomes more of a story or a dream, even though you knew it was real.
Well, that's disheartening.
Bonnie. Oh, wait. You are at 21. Nope, 21 still goes next. Please enter a 20, please.
No,
initiative
Merrick,
20.
I think you mean disintegrating, not disheartening.
Too soon.
Val, can you add in a 20 as a person on 20? And
Oh,
Bonnie, it's your turn.
Oh, no, I'm trying to figure out. She looks at him and just starts singing this horrible the song that he claimed he had written earlier. She starts singing it, but off just slightly, and casts earworm and doing psychic damage to him. And I'm casting it at 5th level, so I need a wisdom save.
Rude.
She pissed.
6.
Okay,
7.
so
I can't add.
all right, yeah. So let me do that real quick.
You asked my maybe boyfriend.
Sorry, gotta add. Okay, 33 points of psychic damage as the earworm
Jesus.
takes a hold of his brain.
So 33 points of psychic damage as he kind of just sits there and he's just twitching. And you're not sure if he's twitching for the psychic damage or more just that you're singing it off tune when he knows you could sing it on and he's just angry. And as
That's why she did it.
As he's doing that, are you done?
He also has to run. He has to run away from me as far as he can, using up his reaction.
He does that, although you're not quite sure there is a place to run here as you guys have approached the outskirts of this, but there's still fog, so he starts to run into the fog. However, as he hits the edge of the fog, just before, so you don't think it's something, Adelaide is this close to the edge of the fog. Something comes, this large sort of black, almost tentacle-like, with this kind of orangish energy crackling over it and hits him. He goes flying off towards and hits the wall of stone, and the manipulator slides off into the mist. Adelaide, the manipulator that is sitting next to you kind of fades out and then fades back in. You have a feeling that they've been randomized again.
So but the one at my feet is...
No, those have vanished. Those
Okay,
the two
okay.
the two that have been tried have vanished.
Gotcha.
Telemachus.
Which one is still? I mean, whichever Merrick is still around.
Young, spry, naive Merrick.
Telemachus will be assisting him.
Okay.
Now, taking a beeline, swimming back towards Sea Spray.
Okay.
He is very focused on that task.
Arthur. No, Merrick. 1. Sorry, Merrick 2.
All right. Well, here goes. And Merrick 2 will, since he's at range, he's going to fire his bow since it's magical. So he's going to.
You can just say Merrick now.
Yeah, we can just say Merrick. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It made me sad.
Made me sad too.
All right. Gonna just move right on past that. Roll right on past it, literally. Oh,
Turn it off. Turn it off.
That's not the one with Bardic Inspiration. Oh, but wait. Was Telemachus giving me advantage?
Yes.
Is that
Telemachus
what-
was giving you advantage.
He's also
I have
prone.
more to Bardic Inspiration.
So hold on,
to
he's
go
prone
around,
right
it's
now because he
okay.
got thrown back. Are you adjacent? Did you move up to him, or are you from? If you're far and
I was
shooting,
far.
then he
I was
would have
far.
disadvantage because he's prone.
Well,
So
then Telemachus is giving him
yeah.
regular shot.
right. So
Who
it's
on
easier
you
to-
then? That was a 16.
Sorry, because yeah, he did get thrown back and knocked down, so he is technically prone.
Merrick is going to bonus action hide behind the kidney stone wall.
What a sentence.
Okay,
And I will roll stealth.
perfect.
But then it's just me and Arthur in view of him.
Arthur, correct.
Yeah.
Well, no, Val's on this side too. She peeked around, but she's got cover from the kidney stones.
The sentence.
I'm going to just run up. I don't have very much to do, so I'm going to continue to hit him with my war pick. I'll run up beside him.
All right, thank you.
Do
for
I
the
have
raid.
advantage? He's prone?
Yes, you have advantage if you are doing melee.
26 to hit.
Never ever split the raid. Thank you for the raid. Never split the party. Thank you for being here for our campaign finale tonight, as they are fighting the big bad right now,
Yep. Fuck this guy.
which is Bonnie's father.
Welcome. Fuck this guy.
Adelaide,
statement
Isn't there
stands.
enough parent? Never mind. Hasn't Arthur done enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't do
Follow.
much.
There's been enough fucking
Just one of
parents on
my
this podcast.
attacks hit
Thank you, Tessa. I'm glad you
for a
enjoyed
total
that.
of 18.
18.
Very
Awesome.
much so.
That's amazing. So 18 damage. All right. Right, 18 damage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
is that with
the?
Was that with
That's
the
nice.
pet piercing doubled?
Oh no.
Vulnerable to piercing for the rest of the combat.
So-
All of you, but none of you are being hurt.
18. That would be another 11.
So 29.
hmm
And he is now, you're starting to realize, is faded about half. I mean, he is just he's halfway transparent. He's, very easy to see through. You can see the kidney stone wall behind him and the orange mist floor. It's just, it's very obvious. Adelaide.
Question
Arthur,
two.
yes.
My shield is, I kind of think and tell it and talk to it. Does it take an action to do anything with that?
No. I
Okay.
don't think so.
For my next turn, I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I think that's fine.
that's it.
All right. Adelaide.
All right. Adelaide is going to rush to the Nexus manipulator that is closest to her and give it another go.
All right, roll a d10 and go ahead and give me
All right. I accept that.
give me what you're going to be doing.
I rolled a 5, and I again want to try to. I want Bonnie's father to be catatonic.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Fuck.
So you throw that one
Throws the
down,
thing
and it
down.
vanishes. It breaks
And
into
I would
pieces,
like
which is what all of them are
to-
supposed to do, and I forgot. So yeah, you throw it
Gotcha.
down, and it's broken and shatters into 1,000 pieces and vanishes into the mist.
And I would like to glance around and see if I can see the next closest
absolutely.
and run to it with
You
my
can,
movement.
yes. So with the rest of your movement, you turn and you run to that one because you pulled one towards you. And so you are now at that one, but you've already run and picked one up, so you've used all of your bits of actions, unless you have a
That's
bonus
fine.
action for something.
I do have a reaction.
Reaction would,
That I
well,
can-
is it triggered? Has it been triggered?
Well, it's my bow tie. I can shoot with my bow tie. I can shoot an
okay.
arrow. So just like, fuck. And she just looks at Sea Spray and angrily tugs her bow tie and tries to shoot him.
So we're saying that you've run around the edge of the circle, so you're around the kidney
heading
beans.
for the next one, and I get a view.
Perfect. That's fine. And so you take your bow tie and you pull back on your bow tie and you release an arrow from your bow. At disadvantage because he is prone. Yes.
27 at disadvantage.
I believe Adelaide used action surge last turn, or two turns ago.
This is my reaction bow tie.
All right. So
27.
Your little bow tie. 27 hits.
And that is a 14 magical piercing damage.
All right, 14.
And because I hit him, I would like to use my second arcane shot to. What do I want to do? I want to try to banish him.
Okay.
I need a charisma save. This was a mistake. This was a terrible mistake.
So he obviously fails. This is for the banishment. Is this like the spell banishment?
Yes.
Okay, but it doesn't make him go anywhere. You do see him fade significantly, but it doesn't seem to actually make him go anywhere because of the way banishment works. It's basically a type of planar travel and banishment to a plane. You're not on any plane right now. You're not on any particular plane. So it just doesn't work the same here, but it did something, and it was significant.
Is there any, this is over negotiating probably, is there any way that the other effects of banishment would go into play where his speed is 0 and he's incapacitated? Those are the things that happen while you're banished.
there. No, they don't happen.
Okay, just checking. It was worth asking.
All
right.
Try.
So Brindlehooves looks at you, this beautiful, majestic unicorn, and says, which do you want?
Offense. Offensively
All right.
offense.
So he runs around over by Val, sticks his head around the corner, and he swirls his horn around, and he lowers his head and shoots. Out come a bunch of these little tiny red pellets, little tiny kind of curved, rounded edged sort of pellets. They run over and hit the ground, and they turn into these vines that come up, and the prickles on the vines start to rip and tear at his flesh. And he kind of giggles to himself and leans at Val and says, "Kidney beans."
Yeah, I caught that.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
From somewhere you can't see, Merrick giggles.
From the shadows. And then we all get sad again.
All right, it's top of the order. Sea Spray.
Do I not get to go?
Val's after.
Oh, can we delete Brindlehooves off there so I would stop doing that? Val.
Yes, I can do that. I'll do that in a second. Okay, so you said he's faded significantly?
Yeah, he's probably, that was probably a full 10% that came off Adelaide, so he's down to about 40. I mean, it's hard to tell in particular because you're not like to Angela and I who deal with opacity on a daily basis. But he's faded. He is fading away a lot. Let's say he's like right towards the end of Back to the Future. Towards the end of the song when he's having a trouble playing the guitar. He's that faded.
Okay, I'm gonna try another disintegrate then with the last charge from the wish ring.
All right.
It's 105 damage, and he does get a dex save.
Well, he gets disadvantage on that because of the vines that are kind of holding him down and ripping at him. He rolled a natural 1, so I'm gonna take all of it. I'm just going to cancel that off with the natural one that I owe Arthur. So we'll just say that nothing happens right now because I can't remember how we handle natural ones in the system. So we're just going to call them misses right now. And so he takes the full amount there, and he is almost completely opaque, which means that he's so hard to see at this point that any melee attack or range attack is going to be at disadvantage.
Okay, well, that's a downside.
It was going to happen eventually.
Sorry, just double checking my spells for what's bonus action. Okay, yeah, I'm good for now. There's nothing else really that she can do from where she's at this point.
Okay, so sea spray. Yes.
Actually, sorry, I just had a thought. Would Brindlehoof's horn count as a weapon?
No, casting spells.
Darn it. Okay.
Gore him!
Wait,
Go!
what? Well, he can use it as a weapon. What are you trying to do?
I have
I am so
a
worried
weapon
about
as a
this.
bonus action.
You have what now?
Holy weapon.
His horn probably already counts as a holy weapon, being a unicorn. But what?
What it
does
does
it do?
is that it emits light, which doesn't do that much. In addition, weapon attacks made with it deal an extra 2d8 radiant damage on a hit. And it becomes a magic weapon if it isn't one. And then as an action on my turn, I can dismiss it and cause damage to creatures within a certain range of
Yeah,
the weapon.
it already has something similar to that, so I'm gonna say it can't stack with that. But you could it wouldn't do any extra damage, but you could put it on it to explode off the damage if you wanted to. So if you wanted to put it on for that reason, but otherwise he already has basically that exact thing on it. So it is already quote unquote holy. So
Hold on.
Okay.
I have it up here. Weird. It says deadbeat dads take 2d20 damage. That's so weird. Heather must have the not updated version.
oh, okay. So I don't know. From another perspective, this guy's willing to sacrifice everything to save his daughter from a horrible vampire. So
Be a deadbeat dad
From
to
a certain
another
point.
child.
it's true. So Brindle was fucking out. Sea Spray just kind of grits his teeth. He sees what's happening to him, but he doesn't really understand it. It doesn't hurt him. He then turns to Mist. Misty steps out to another one, picks it up, and so it stays completely opaque. So you can kind of see it almost floating because he's almost impossible to see inside of this mist. And he starts running around the opposite way of Adelaide to the next one as he waits to hear Arthur say that he takes damage from Booming Blade for moving. And then he turns and attempts to use the Nexus Manipulator.
He takes 4.
Which fails, and he throws to the ground, and it shatters as he takes that damage. But he has another one at his feet right now. Bonnie,
How close is he to me?
30 feet.
Okay. She is going to go up to him and using her bardic ability, the mobile flourish. She can actually. She's going to use slashing flourish and give herself a bonus on her attacks against him as she moves forward. So she moves even faster than she did last round.
Nice.
Up to him, and let me roll my d8 really quickly to see what I can add to my attacks and my damage. Okay, so yay. All right, so she lets loose her attacks. You know you can end this. Just stop. We'll let you go. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Does a 23 hit?
Yes. As you say that right before you stab him.
I'm trying to do I am doing non-lethal.
Okay.
Non-lethal stabbing.
Well, it's not non-lethal. You just pull the last hit. But you can only do that with bludgeoning.
Is
so
it
are you using
piercing?
bludgeoning?
No, it's
And then you
What?
can't do non-lethal.
Yeah, right.
You can't knock
Okay.
him out with that.
Come on, I
with
just
a-
want to gently stab him. Come
I was
on.
gonna say.
It was in The
I-
Princess Bride. I mean,
If I use, well, that's an improvised weapon. So if I used if you want to say, "Oh, I'm going to relax him by poking him with needles," that's a different thing. So he responds to you as you say whatever the hell you said. I've forgotten by now. He says, not until she's back. But every word of his is fractured and broken, and you hear it kind of crackle with this sort of static behind it. It's as if his words and all of him are fading.
She dropped her weapon.
All right.
And she just wraps her arms around him and just hugs him.
Go right through him.
She tries anyway.
Okay.
So she doesn't attack.
He fades a little bit more.
And she just tries to hang on. And she just stays with him. Because she realizes, I don't think she can stop him from fading at this point, and she just doesn't. She realizes that she can't be the one to do it. But she can be there for him.
Telemachus.
Same thing. Supporting Merrick. Taking dive bombs and trying to help Merrick.
Okay. Telemachus has good eyesight, so that's fine. Merrick, you are far enough away that you're having a hard time seeing him at all, but you can kind of see where he's at because Bonnie's trying to hug air over there.
You just hear,
And yeah, there you go, exactly.
Hug air. Is that like pounding dirt?
Yes.
hugging air.
Go hug air.
I don't mean to ask for homework, but you did tell us to put Rando on the...
It's only if it comes up.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
They're only willing to help so much.
All right. I think... All right. Merrick is going to grab onto his cloak as he is behind the wall and will actually run up the kidney stone wall, breaking stealth.
Okay.
And with a flourish of his cape that has various web motifs on it, he'll say, "The spiders send their regards," and cast web.
Okay.
So I need a dex save from Bonnie and him.
7. I can't add.
No. DC 13.
5.
All right. Each creature that starts is okay.
Oh wait, save.
Yeah, you're restrained.
7.
Yeah, restrained.
Yeah, both.
I feel like restraining Bonnie, that their relationship escalated really quickly.
American Bonnie have been dating for like a year. I mean,
In 10 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh.
No, that one left.
I was gonna say if the.
Can you imagine all the shit he learned while he was? No, it's fine. What did you miss?
And that, I think, will be my turn. Because that is an action to do that.
All right. Arthur.
Well, noticing the web down there, he remembers, oh yeah, I have that cloak too. And he runs up, and I can move freely in through the web spell.
Uh-huh.
So I climb up there. The manipulator that he was about to reach for.
Yeah, the one on his feet.
Yeah, I pick that up.
All right, you pick it up.
And what am I
Roll a
rolling?
D8.
They're fading fast.
6.
Okay. What are you using it to do?
I'm attempting to turn him into a donut. sea spray.
All right.
Thank you. We weren't sure who you were talking about.
Okay.
Sea salt caramel donut.
Oh.
It does not
Damn it.
work.
It's cranberry.
I
sea
throw it
salt.
to the ground.
You throw it to the ground, it
Ah.
bounces in the web, and then vanishes.
Yep. That was not an attack action, so I am done. I
All
only
right.
get one.
Adelaide.
Going for the next closest manipulator and
Okay.
trying to get it.
Roll. You get to it. Roll a d8.
A 1.
What are you trying to do?
I see that he's fading.
You really can't see him from where you're at through the
No.
mist. But you
Well,
know
then I'm
that you should be able to see him, and you can see Bonnie trying to hug him, and you can kind of see his
And
outline in the
me.
web, but you cannot see
Then I'm
him.
Fine. Then if I don't see the nature of what's going on with him, I continue what I was attempting to do before, which was to send him into a permanent catatonic state.
No, permanent this time. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm a little desperate now.
It does not work.
Okay.
Throw it to the
Tossing
ground,
it. She's
shatters.
stopped being frustrated and is just now like on
now
a
it's
mission
just
to
a,
find.
it's just a process at this point. Adelaide can do processes.
Yeah, so she's gonna look for the next one, run
You
towards
see it, and you start
So,
finishing your move towards
systematic.
that. You're not quite there, but you do make it a good way. Val.
Okay. Given that he looks like he's barely there at this point, I'm gonna go for the nearest manipulator.
Okay. You turn and you head towards the nearest manipulator. You are at the edge of the kidney stone wall, so you are near the edge of the thing as well. So you make your way over there and pick one up.
Time.
Roll me a d6.
Oof.
And
Okay.
what do you do with it?
I rolled a 2. At this point, she really fucking hates sea spray, but she also feels bad for Bonnie. So instead of trying to kill him, she's just trying to light him up so that he's easier to see.
Just
So almost
summon-
like a fairy fire spell.
Just summon a stiff wind.
All right.
Blow him away.
All right. So instead of using your wish spell, which could instantly make this happen, you're gambling that it's going to happen with this.
She's out.
Oh, I thought you
Well,
used
no,
only two.
I've used all 3 charges.
Oh, did you use all
No,
three?
I used one to get us to the island.
Right.
I used one to cast the first disintegrate, and I used
Oh,
the
that's
third
right.
one to cast the
Okay.
second
All right.
one.
Oh, wow.
The
You
ring's
used up
done.
the ring of three wishes. I barely noticed. That's amazing. Thank you. It's easy on me.
Thank you for not doing something crazy.
That's awesome. All right.
I'm a little worried about how we're gonna get Captain Jasper and
So,
crew back now, but yeah, it'll be
as
okay.
you pick up the device and you attempt to grab onto both handles and you attempt to use it, it does not work. You let it go to the ground, it breaks and disintegrates. All right.
Oh, we didn't do brindle hooves.
Brindlehose. Brindlehose kind of
Defense.
looks over.
Defense,
Defense.
please.
Okay. I got this. And he swirls his little thing around, and he
Horn.
his horn. So he swirls that
It's a
around.
majestic thing.
and
not a
and he
little
turns
thing.
and he aims at Adelaide and he shoots. And flying over into your mouth is a kidney bean that you then eat, and you gain the effect of the haste spell.
Yes. Okay. That was incredibly gross, but I'm not gonna complain. And then she.
Be careful, there's a choking hazard involved with this.
God.
A joking hazard.
Just chucking a piece of snack into someone's mouth and hit in the back.
Sea spray. So sea spray turns and looks at Bonnie for half a second. You can just barely see his outline as he misty steps out of the web to the next one, grabs it, picks it up.
Takes 9 damage.
And fades completely before he gets there. And then the ground starts to shake. And erupting from the ground is this red, viscous ooze, which is not obscured at all by the orange. And this ooze starts to bubble up, and coming up from beneath it is this large, sort of humanoid-esque golem with this red oobleck like liquid dripping off of him and then being absorbed up at his feet to kind of be pushed up at the top, and these two fiery red eyes as it appears next to Bonnie. And it reaches down and it just tries to grab Bonnie as in its fist, as it is a very large, it's a huge size creature.
Disadvantage on your grabbing.
Okay, why?
Because I have a cloak of displacement on.
Okay. So 23 then.
Yeah, you still grab me.
Okay, so it comes down and he grabs you, and it just starts to squeeze, and you feel all this pain and anger and hatred just oozing off this, to the point where you are almost feeling anger and hatred coming just by being in contact with this thing, and this feels like a lot of it is directed towards you, but you feel like it's not a legitimate, it's not like for a reason, it just kind of exists. Take 52 points of crushing damage, bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
As
It's
the
fine.
creature
It's
then
totally
starts to walk over, seeming to just ooze right through the web, and makes its way to the next manipulator and picks it up.
I'm assuming with
But
me in
can't
its hand at
Yep,
that size.
you are being carried.
Okay.
And it picks it up but cannot use it yet. And it looks down at Bonnie and says, "Never."
She's
Bonnie.
gonna try and stab into this hand with Azure Edge.
Okay.
And hope that she can get dropped or free. Does a 3 hit?
Nope. You've basically got advantage since he's holding you, so
Okay.
I would think. I mean, that's probably not a thing, but it seems like it should be, because you're like, it's right here.
How
Kinda
about
hard
a
to miss.
10?
Still,
Does a
that
10
still doesn't
hit?
do anything.
Okay.
You
Second
just-
attack.
You do kind of stab into it. It just doesn't feel like it's doing anything.
12 hit?
No, and I'm not going to do
Okay.
to you what the horrible thing you did to me with the Oobleck monster, where you had to roll low to hit because otherwise it just bounced off. Bullcrap. All right.
Yeah, so then that's my turn.
Okay. Telemachus.
Oh, no, she calls out and she sings my Jolly Merrick bold at Merrick to give him bardic inspiration.
Aw.
And in about 40 years, it'll be my Bonnie Merrick bald. Okay. So
Merrick old.
Oh, there you go. I should have gone that way. Telemachus.
Telemachus is now like looking at this giant fucking thing, but then is going to continue on his assignment, which is to be Merrick's eyes. You know, like he can't see the monster, but help action to Merrick.
Right. Got it. Okay, Merrick.
Is Bonnie still held the only Merrick, one and only?
Only one
The
there ever
far
was.
distant dream.
No sad
Yeah.
story. Only Merrick.
Must move forward. Bonnie still held by this Oobleck creature? Okay. What'd I do? Well, it oozed around the web, so that stinks. If I wanted to throw like a pebble, what would that action be? It's not really an attack.
It's. I mean, what is it doing? You can't really throw a pebble to do damage.
No, exactly. Like I just want to like throw.
It's just an attack roll then with an improvised weapon.
But it's an action.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That doesn't work then. frag it. I'm just going to run towards one of them in Nexus manipulators.
All right, you run over and you grab a Nexus manipulator.
Cool. And I will attempt to use it.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. Come on, die hard dice. Where'd it go? There it is. It doesn't have corners, so it throws me off every time. A 5.
Okay, what are you trying to do?
I am trying to change his makeup into
Makeup.
A
like
tasteful cat eye.
contouring. Going to try to make him turn gaseous,
Jeez.
like turn to vapor.
Needs to contour his
Interesting.
soul.
Unfortunately, it's the wrong one.
Ah! This is nonsense.
So you throw it to the ground, it breaks, shatters, and turns to nothing.
Logan always wanted to make us play whack-a-mole.
Weep, 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 weep.
Are you done?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, action, movement, and such. Yeah.
Bing bong, bing bong.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I said that in the chat. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Arthur.
Would he be considered a vertical surface?
Sure. Yes. But you have to keep running. That's the problem. If you stop, you'll sink.
Now I can move up and down, vertical and across, vertical surface.
Yes, but like I said, you have to keep going. If you stop, you just start to slide down.
Vertical up and down. Something Merrick's mom.
I'll take I want to turn at his arm.
All right, you turn.
Johnny,
You're now standing on his shoulder-ish.
To get where he's holding the manipulator.
Sure.
Okay. So I tell my shield to become a manipulator to look like one.
All right.
And then I swap them out.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
$17 plus 2 and 19.
You swap out the two manipulators.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know
pull
what
that
good
one
is
out of the
doing.
oobleck and push your little friend into it, looking just like a manipulator.
So do I have an action left?
I don't know. I don't remember what all those things take. So
That's what I was at. Like I think that was an action to swap.
Yeah, I
them.
would say swapping is probably an action. So you probably don't have an
I'll
action. But you
continue
do
my
have
movement.
Okay, you continue, and you're going to run down off of him?
Yeah, I'll do my slide.
Got it. Perfect. Yeah, you slide down the oobleck. All right. Adelaide. And
Running to the next manipulator and trying it with my haste.
You move to the next manipulator. Go ahead and give me what you're gonna do in a D4 roll.
Rolled a 3, and Adelaide looks at this giant monster and doesn't know what the fuck she wants to come of it, but the only thing that's in the back of her head is she just wants to put it out of its misery. That's literally what she thinks.
Okay. What'd you get on the die?
3.
It does not work.
Dude, you should
Sit
have had
down
another
and
creature
shadow.
come up named Company.
Oh, hold on. With the haste, do I get another action with haste?
You get extra move. And I don't know I think if you attack, you get an extra action and an extra attack.
Okay.
I don't think you get any other actions. But you do get like double your move and advantage on dex saves, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Says additional action can only be used for taking the attack action.
Yeah. So you can take another attack action
Wait, no. In the spell, you have an action. That action can be used only for taking the attack, but only one weapon attack only. So just this, I don't have a good thing. Oh, it can be take an attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object.
Okay.
Those are the options. So would it be possible for me to grab another one?
Nope.
Like
Because
to-
that's a free action to pick up, not part of any of those. You can move over,
do.
but you pick this one
Yeah.
up. So you can move over and you're
definitely-
next to the next one.
Yes, I
but that's
definitely
it.
want to move over to that.
But you also could, if you wanted to, take a single attack against the Oblek.
No.
Okay.
I'm focusing.
All right. So you run over and you've got one in front of you now. Arthur has one in his hands. Did somebody else have one in their hands? No, Merrick just dropped one. Okay.
Did, but it broke.
Because there's only one more left besides the two that exist. So the one at Adelaide's feet and the one in Arthur's hands. Well, there's the mimic one that's in his hand.
You'll find out about that.
Val, you know what to do. Get the other manipulator before he does.
Yeah, seriously. Val's
So-
gonna run to the last manipulator.
All right. So since there's only one left, roll me a d20. Let's just see how close you are to it.
Okay. 17?
Higher was better, so you can see it. And I was thinking it'd be 10 feet per, so it's 30 feet away. It's one move away, and you can get to it.
Okay, so she runs over and picks it up.
All right. You run over, you pick it up. Oh, Brindlehooves also, real quick. What did you have? Did you? Oh, God, she's hurt. Oh, defense. That's healing. And he swirls his horn around, and out pops this very large kidney bean with arms and legs, and he kind of like does a little dance over.
The spell.
And it comes over and it touches Bonnie on the foot and says, and then as it does, it kind of pops and explodes, and you are healed by 50 points as Brindlehose giggles and says, "Kidney Buster." And that is that.
He runs over and goes, "My life for yours!"
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you run over, you pick up the manipulator, roll me a d4, re-roll a 3, and tell me what you wish.
Okay, I rolled a 4. She's wishing for this creature to go back where it came from and leave Bonnie.
Or so help her.
Nothing happens.
Okay, and so it breaks.
It breaks. So, you got a 19 on your sleight of hand, right? I got higher on my perception, so we did see you do it. And he kind of takes a second and looks at the one you have, and then looks at the one at Adelaide's feet. And he's not sure he can get it off of you, being as dexterous and as manipulative as you are. So he stretches out this long oobleck tentacle, grabbing the one at Adelaide's feet and pulling it over to him.
Can I do anything as a reaction? Can
You have a-
I
do you have a
opportunity
reaction?
attack that shit? I can either opportunity
He's
attack
not
or I
there
can
moving
shoot
out of
him.
your square, so there's nothing I can think of that is
I can.
and that's melee anyway.
Can I? Does it seem like I could shoot him in any particular way that could disrupt
You
this
can't
attempt?
do opportunity attacks with melee or with range is the problem. It has to be melee, I believe.
If you had
Right, but my bow tie is a reaction.
It uses your reaction, but it is still prompted on your turn. It's not triggered by anything. And I don't remember what I said originally. Why?
You're right. It was on my action.
Yeah, why
That
it
was at least I
it
think
was-
specified.
We'll have to, I want to go back and look at it 'cause I don't
Magic,
remember what I did
Logan.
exactly.
You gave
I mean,
me
you can
magic.
make an attack if you want. It's just not going to do anything necessarily. So that's the thing. So and he kind of looks at Arthur. And he screams and slams it onto the ground. And then he turns and starts moving towards Arthur, letting Bonnie drop. And Arthur, you got a little bit of time to wait, so we got a few things that are going to happen. Bonnie, as he lets you drop, he is running and turning towards Arthur, who obviously at this point has the only real manipulator, and he's pissed that he had it a moment ago.
How far away is Arthur from me?
I don't think Arthur got far because he had to run up the entire huge creature and
Okay.
back down, so he's probably right next to you, 10, 15 feet away.
All right. She dives to Arthur, slaps a hand on him, and casts Greater Invisibility.
Okay.
Attempt
So
number 2.
Arthur is completely invisible, and everything he's carrying is invisible now as well.
Everything
and she just yells
except-
out.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I
And,
had actually had this plan before, but I didn't ever let you guys know it, so I'm gonna take it away now. So I'm gonna take it back. Originally, the here in the Nexus, the compasses could not be disguised. That was something that you were supposed to learn early on, but I never told you. But
Just
I'm
two
not gonna do it here.
bouncing
So.
compasses.
Yeah, basically, it would have been like 2 little eyeballs
Looks like
floating.
he has googly eyes. Yeah.
But that's okay. It's I'm since I didn't let you guys know that early on, I'm gonna let this go ahead. So yeah, so everything vanishes. He vanishes. It's gone.
And she just kind of turns to the sea spray monster. It just goes, "It doesn't matter. I will never stop caring for you. Ever." And she just says it and lets it hang in the air. And that's her turn.
The fog around you starts to thicken to the point where it becomes almost like walls that are just kind of roiling and spinning, more like the that kind of glittery wine that you can buy. Telemachus, still flying and hitting and poking?
Yes. Still juking around.
Merrick.
Okay. Everything changes so quickly.
Welcome to Shenanigoons.
Yeah, we're...
Yeah, true.
We love that you
Every
subscribe.
carefully detailed plan goes exactly according to our intent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and
Do nothing is an option.
no.
That's a
No.
powerful option.
Doing nothing is doing something.
Go out and vote.
Yes.
But seriously. Like, seriously.
No, that's not. Dang it. Okay.
I'm gonna delay you in a second. So
this idea just popped into my head. Merrick kind of puts his bow down at his side and looks at the giant red.
Captain, my captain.
Like,
Stands up on the desk.
Sorry.
I want to marry your daughter.
Funny, what?
And then we all died because you distracted us.
The sea spray's evil gelatinous oobleck form like turns, and for the first time there were no features before, but now there's an eyebrow, just one, kind of raised. It definitely distracts him.
He goes, "I hate her, but you're still not good enough for her."
Wow.
So
It was not a proposal. I just said I wanted to.
or maybe it's I made you. Oh, never mind. All right, that Merrick, that definitely distracts him. Arthur.
Okay. Mission accomplished.
If he liked her, you could have been like, "I banged your daughter."
You're invisible.
I know this. Yeah.
Run!
I cast Far Step.
Okay, you are far stepped away.
I can teleport 60 feet on every one of my turns. It's a bonus action.
Cool.
So I do that.
Oh, I need that one. That's much better than Misty Step.
Yeah, it is. And I still have my action left, which is to use the manipulator.
Oh, I'm not a warlock, so that wouldn't have helped.
And the first thing I do is attempt to bring back all of the crew members and stuff that were lost on the ship.
That's the first thing you're gonna do in this situation.
Because I teleported away, yeah.
All right, make me a charisma save.
If ever there was a person besides Bonnie who should be making this save.
25.
fine. So all of the
Like everything, the ship was still there, right?
the ship was still there, but you want all the people that
Everybody
what is it?
he bamfed.
Everybody. Well, you don't know if he bamfed them or how they were removed from the ship. But
Bring
you know
them
that they
back.
were removed from the ship. Okay, so all right, so you see the energy. Everyone kind of sees the energy from 60 feet away from this thing kind of burst out and crackle through the orange mist around you. And Arthur, did you mean to have them come back just like right now, or do you mean for them to have never been gone?
Isn't that the same?
No.
Uh,
Never been gone means it might affect the past. Back
bring
now
them-
means nothing changes.
Bring them
right
back
now.
is what I
Okay.
had intended.
So then they are back. You feel the energy kind of crackle, and you believe that the crew is back on their ship. You seem to understand that is the truth of reality.
Okay.
Although I'm
Starts
now
all
realizing that you weren't there when they weren't there, but that's okay. We'll figure that out later. You must have some sort of omniscience while you're here as well.
I can do something else. I
Nope,
didn't.
it's
know.
fine.
That
I
was
completely forgot about it until after it was done.
Metadata.
It was a little bit of metadata, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Maybe you learned that in your vision. Somebody said, "Hey, by the way,
Enemy enjoys it being called metadata.
metadata."
It was written in mustard inside of one of the
inside the
sandwiches in his
sandwich.
vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring them back. They've been haunting you this whole time. Well, that was your turn. So, Adelaide. Arthur's had it. He should have had time. He's invisible. You saw the energy. Nothing's changed.
Arthur! Monster! Chop chop! And,
Literally, if you have to.
I go, oh, right.
I did not just hear you say, oh. And I'm going to...
I need supervision.
All right.
Sometimes.
I'm going to use my ring of shooting stars to cast ball lightning. I'm making a sphere of lightning next to the creature.
Okay.
And its concentration. A little bit of dim light happens, and he must make a dex save.
Okay.
What
Is
did he
it
roll?
possible to place that ball away from where Bonnie fell and still hit it?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a huge creature. He's 15 feet on his side.
Just
So,
checking.
Okay, so did he fail
what am I doing?
a DC 15 dex save?
13. So yes.
Okay, so he's gonna take 4d12.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that damage.
$22 lightning damage. That was a shit roll. So yeah, 22 lightning damage.
Okay. As he takes the 22 lightning damage along with the damage Bonnie took earlier, he kind of screams out, and you start to notice that he's a sort of similar effect this time around, except instead of fading, you're pretty sure that he's growing and getting more angry with every bit of damage.
Can I shout anything else?
Sure.
Arthur, now!
All right. Val. Oh, Brindlehoofs. Hey, what do you want me to do now? Oh, wait, how long have we been in here? Oh, not an hour. Okay.
Defense!
Defense. Got it. I'm out of kidney metaphors.
Protect Bonnie!
All right. And he will go ahead and let's roll his horn around. as he casts out this ray of sunshine and light and rainbows that shoots from his horn and kind of wrap Bonnie into this beautiful sort of rainbow hologram energy that will give you 2d10 temporary hit points, plus increase your AC by 2, plus give you advantage on all of your attacks for the next round.
Thank you for the 14 temporary hit points, plus all of the above.
Val.
Okay. Am I within 30 feet of it as it's running around now?
No, because you ran out into the mist.
Oh, to get the manipulator, one of them. Okay. Then let me look at the ranges on my spells real quick. Okay. This one doesn't do damage, but it can come in handy. I need a charisma save with a DC of 17. Well, I'm going to have to move closer because I have to get within 30 feet of it.
All right. Well, you can do that. That's fine.
Cast the spell.
11.
Yeah. Okay. You now have Bane cast on you.
All right.
So,
On you specifically, Logan, not the monster.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to roll a d4 and subtract the number from every attack roll or saving throw until the spell ends.
Okay. Minus D4 on saving throw. That's a good thing to have. Well, not for me, but for you guys. All right.
That's very generous of you,
Sea
Logan.
Spray. So Sea Spray is going to turn towards Bonnie, not being able to see Arthur, and he screams out, and he just starts taking all of his frustration out, and he's going to attack twice.
Okay.
First one is a 19.
Minus
No.
d4.
Oh, grumbly, Brian, grumble.
And he's at disadvantage
So
to
16.
hit me, too.
Why is he disadvantage to hit you?
Cloak of
Displacement
displacement.
cloak.
I thought that only happened for the first attack that hits you. Read over it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen every time. And a nat 20, but I'm at possibly at disadvantage. So
Oh, yeah, you're right.
yeah, it doesn't.
If you take damage, the property ceases to function
Yeah,
until the start
so-
of your next turn. So yeah, so that nat 20 goes through.
so that nat 20.
I'm within 30 feet of Bonnie. If he can attack her, I'm within 30 feet of Bonnie since I was within 30 feet of him. So I'm using my sentinel.
He's a 15-foot
ability.
creature. I disagree with you that I believe it's possible not
I don't
to.
have to-
However, I'm going to go ahead and say that's fine because we're using the far, medium, and close range. But as a
So
15-foot
it
creature,
negates the
I had it
critical.
envisioned that you were on the opposite side because you were on the far
Oh,
side of the
okay.
creature. But it doesn't matter because we're being ambiguous. Ambiguity always goes to the players. So yes, you can go ahead and do your thing. So this crit turns into a normal hit because you use
Sentinel at Death's
Perfect.
Door.
Sentinel
It's
at
one
Death's
of my
Door.
grave cleric abilities.
And Logan, since you're clarifying his size, I'd like to clarify that as long as he's a giant red monster, you should be referring to him as Ocean Spray.
So Ocean Spray does 62 points of damage to Bonnie.
Did you roll a d4 to see if that one actually hit?
It was a nat 20. Of course it hits.
No, it becomes a regular hit for my sentinel, and
No,
you
it's-
still have to roll it.
No, I thought it just doesn't do crit damage.
It says, as a reaction, when you or a creature you can see within 30 feet suffers a critical hit, you can turn that hit into a normal hit. Any effects triggered by a critical hit are canceled.
I'm going to have to
So
Google
that
that one.
includes automatic.
I'm going to go ahead and say even at -4, it's still 26. I think that hits.
That's still gonna
So
hit.
it still hits, but
Okay.
I want to look that one up because that's interesting. Because you can't suffer a critical hit until it hits you. But,
Yep.
Anyway. So we'll have to figure that one out. But I'm sure there's a rule on it eventually. That's a good
There
point,
probably-
though.
It is limited use, though, so it's
Because
not
there
like
there are some times that a nat 20 would hit only because of the nat 20. So yeah, that's very important to know. But even after the -4, it still hits. So Bonnie, you still take 62 points of damage. Does that drop you?
Not thanks to the temporary hit points.
All
It
right.
does not drop me.
Brindle
Wait,
Hoof
oh.
saves the day.
Hold on, I have to check something. Sorry. I have so much new equipment from before. Oh, it has to be within 5 feet of me. She's not within 5 feet of me, so never mind. I can't take the damage for her.
But that's also a bonus action, right?
Nope.
What is it?
Pariah's shield.
Okay.
It's a reaction, so I would have had to use my
okay.
reaction to
which
do
you,
it.
which you had to use to do this one. So,
Yeah.
trust me, this would be the better one to do because it would be double that damage, basically. It would be a little more than double that damage.
I would have
Right.
been squished.
Yeah, dead instantly.
I would have been
Yeah.
insta-dead, yeah.
So, okay, so that was Val, and then Sea Spray, so Bonnie.
Bonnie, blood just dripping from her nose after that, barely able to stand up, is leaning on the Azure Edge as a cane almost at this point to stay standing. And she goes over to him and she just wraps her arms around his leg and using earworm so it burrows its way into his head. She says, "I will never stop loving you."
Oh, burrowing into his head like a gnome with a shovel.
Yep.
Aww.
Yep.
Mm.
Doing
Hell,
5
that
feet.
one was for Countless Heroes fans.
And no, that's for Tolus fans.
Oh, that was for oh shit, that was too far back.
Tolus.
That was for
And
people
I
who
do-
didn't see anything.
I do
You
the
went
wisdom
too far
save.
back, Logan.
Did I inception too far?
So wisdom save, please.
Okay. Grumbly. 12 after the -4.
25 points of psychic damage, and he has
Okay.
to run in the opposite direction. away
Is
from
that
where
because of
Arthur is.
fear? Is it a fear effect?
Let me just
I don't want to listen to this fucking song anymore. Effect.
it just says no, because of terrible pain. It's not a fear effect.
Okay, so in his turn he will do that, but that's
It must
crazy.
immediately use its reaction if
Oh, okay,
available to move
so-
as far away as its speed allows.
All right, so it reacts and moves and starts running away from your effect.
And hopefully away from Arthur.
Well, it kind of just starts running into the mist. Doesn't know where Arthur is.
That's true.
Do I see it?
No, it's in a thick wall of mist now. It completely vanishes.
Well, I don't need to see it. I have a.
Telemachus is going to stop swooping or going to swoop into the mist.
Does the rando go off with it
No, it
going in
does
the
not.
mist? Okay.
Swooping into the mist.
Okay, all right. So Telemachus swoops into the mist and is completely blind, and so I'm not sure what it's going to do. So
I mean, it does. I mean, I imagine if it can't effectively do its task, it would
just try
return
to
to
come
me.
back. That's fine.
Yeah.
So it just swoops in, realizes he can't see, and comes back and says, "Oop, sorry." Or maybe it just hovers there at the entrance. Doesn't matter. Merrick.
All right. Okay. Merrick will take a moment now that the creature is temporarily out of sight. Will go ahead and take out a small little 1-inch piece of metal.
Merrick, hold on 1 second. Tess, did you want to go back and change that? Is that necessary?
I don't know if it's.
Why don't you go back and change the words you used? If you want.
Yeah, she says. I think
Okay.
she's gonna say, "I'll never stop loving you, but I can't have you hurting. But I can't.
I have to protect my friends, or
I have to protect my friends." Yeah,
my friends are my friends are more important, or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I the
No,
second
it's
I
okay.
said it,
That's
I was
why-
like, "Oh, that feels really bad to have
Right.
said."
That's why we
and
have that
so I
ability to
apologize.
stop and go back. Okay. So instead of using so that never happened. What you did was you used the words of your friends being more important, and that and that they they're more important. That's enough, and that is what did it and made him run screaming. Was that? So go ahead, Merrick. Sorry.
Thank you.
Quite all right. Going to take a 1-inch metal cube out of his pocket, and we'll set that down on the ground, and we'll back away. How far does he need to back away? 25 feet.
Okay.
and will say, "Welcome home." And the tiny metal cube grows and doesn't stop growing until it is 30 feet high, 20 feet on a side. It is a fortress made of adamantine.
Jesus.
And the front door opens.
You opening an extra dimensional space?
No. It is not extra dimensional.
Okay.
Is this the Darren's instant fortress?
It is.
So you can get in other ways than just the front door.
The front door is the only way to get in, but it
So-
locks, and only people that you allow can go into the door. It is not extra dimensional.
So it's not always warm in there. It's not always the good temperature. It's not all those things.
It's just a Porto shack. But big.
It's like a magic pop-up tent that's a fortress that can protect you. It does
The
store
fortress-
furniture and stuff.
Yeah,
You can store furniture, but it
yeah,
part of it.
It doesn't say extra dimensional anywhere on it. Yeah, there's a trap door that leads to the roof. The tower has a small door on the side facing me. Door only opens at my command, which I can speak as a bonus action. It doesn't mention extra dimensional space. It also can't be tipped over.
Cool. That's neat.
I like the fortress. It's a handy tool.
Anyone who needs
But
protection.
So it does have windows, though. So like a bird could fly through the window.
The bird, you say?
They're like arrow slits, but they're still openings.
Yes.
Telemachus,
That's
we got you a birdhouse.
All right.
He's like, the best. This is all mine now.
Befitting your station.
Perfect. Okay.
I don't like that question, Logan.
Well, I meant you're facing an ooze monster, so it's only going to help so much. If it's not an extra dimensional space, and if it was an extra dimensional space, we have a whole different thing to do.
We have some other issues.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so that is that, and we have Arthur. Are you ready, or do you want to delay?
Well, I don't think I need to. I'm going to delay in my action until the creature comes back and it's visible.
So do you want to delay, or do you want to ready to do something when it comes back? That way you can interrupt it.
Ready to do something when I see it come
Got
back.
it.
Out of the
Adelaide.
mist.
I assume you're going to use the Nexus Manipulator.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay, it's just out there. It's not really. Oh, shit! I used my arcane shot. Damn it! I don't have an extra.
No!
Oh, this was like the one time I could have used it. Fuck.
Without me legitimately setting it up for you.
God damn it. Okay, fine. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do now because it's like literally my only option.
You could get in the fortress.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, it's going to be probably a double move to get to the fortress because Merrick was kind of away from you.
Sure.
Okay, so you
Sure, I'll
start
just do
moving
that.
over to get into the fortress. Val.
I'm gonna go over to Bonnie and heal her.
Okay. Actually, you may not need to. Do you want Brindlehoves to do that? Because you need to command him.
Yeah, sure. Defense.
So Brindlehoves will shoot a kidney bean over into Bonnie's mouth, and then she will eat it, and she will gain 70 hit points.
Damn.
Well,
Okay.
as many as you need. It's a heal spell. So 70 is a heal
Yeah,
spell,
well,
right?
yeah, I'm back up full now.
Okay.
Cool.
And then he
And then
trots
I'm
over and
her.
gets in and opens the door to the thing and gets in. As long as Merrick added him to the the item so he
The
can get
least you
inside.
could do since the train.
As long as he's greased, pre-buttered.
Yeah, how wide
shit.
are
How
the
wide
doors?
is this door, Merrick?
It only says small.
It says
Oh, no.
small creatures?
It says a small door.
Oh, he's definitely going to have problems. So he opens it, and then he kind of looks at it, then he glares at you.
I didn't design it.
The one thing you could have done for me.
My mortal enemy.
Doors.
And then he just kind of wiggles his butt at you. Like, come on, butter it up. So, Val?
Okay, if I don't need to heal Bonnie, I think she's gonna start heading towards the fortress.
What do you do about Brindle, he's not standing in front of the door, but he's standing there waiting for someone to butter him up so he can be pushed through the door.
So I can create food and water. Can I
Can you
create a bunch
butter?
of like? Yeah.
Fine. We're off the rails already. Fine.
I will allow that.
We're 20 minutes past where I thought we would be at this point. So
I create a whole shit ton of butter and just start smearing it all over.
all right. So you create butter create food and butter onto Brindlehooves and start smearing his rump, his flank with butter, and he starts kicking a leg at one point, and then as soon as he's greased up, he walks in with you as you kind of give him a little nudge through the door. You and Adelaide.
His polycule will be very, very happy that you did that for him.
I'm just that Arrested Development gif. I don't know what I expected from this show.
So, Sea Spray. Sorry, what was his name now?
Ocean Spray.
Ocean Spray. Ocean Spray. Ruby Red Ocean Spray comes back in.
Ocean Spray Cranberry, Dad.
Tromping back in, angry, just running, sort of like the Juggernaut, just doosh, 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 and
Oh
comes
yeah!
into view.
Wait, that's different.
Oh shit!
Right through the kidney stone wall.
Right through the kidney stone. Oh yeah!
No, it's never.
Never. Oh my god! What are you doing, Arthur?
Well,
Turning him into the Kool-Aid Man.
I had two
He's happy.
ideas in my head. So one was with some support. The first one, which I'm not doing, was
What are you telling us?
I'm going to tell you anyway, because I want people to know.
Go for it.
I was going to have him turn back into a humanoid, die, and be encased in a soul cage.
That's kind
Jesus
of cool.
Christ.
All right.
Well, that would be effective.
Okay.
So
So
we could release him. We'd have 6 turns or 6 things. We'd have some time, 8 hours to turn him back.
okay.
But I will try. That's my next action if this doesn't work. I infuse him or make him have or feel the amount of love I have for food
Okay.
and
When
all my friends.
do you do this?
As soon as he,
No.
right
when
after
do you
he
want
goes,
to affect him? Just right from right now forward.
after he goes through the kidney stone wall.
I meant so right in this moment. You're not going back and saying that you want him to feel this love for his entire life or feel this
No,
love.
I
since he
don't
met
really want to
Bonnie
mess
or-
with the past.
Smart
I
move.
don't. I,
Okay.
No.
So you
Smart.
So you infuse him with this
He
love.
he
as of
loves
this moment.
everybody and as if
So
you know,
you get him
like I love
really
you.
high, is what you're saying.
So you see the crackle of the energy shoot out from nowhere once again, probably close to the fortress, and the energy it seems to crackle all around this room, almost like it's being contained by this wall of fog, and it starts to push, or all the energy starts to crackle and shoot down towards Ocean Spray, and it starts to crackle over him as he starts to scream out. This anger, this hatred just seems to be being exuded from just his emotional state is this voice and the hatred or the tone and almost like this, it almost ferments off of him. You all start to feel a little hatred and anger, and you start to just feel angry for no reason, and he starts to shrink. And he shrinks down. This Oobleck, as he continues to scream, shrinks and shrinks until he's just a normal man-sized creature. And the anger fades and the hatred fades from all of you as he sits there. And as he's there and he starts to just weep and cry and becomes sadder than any person you've ever seen. And then you see a dagger wound. And then you see a miner's pick hit once and then twice. And then you see another wound, and you see an arrow, and then another arrow, and you see another wound, and then you see just this glowing green light as he turns to dust.
No.
Adelaide walks up to Merrick and smacks him on the shoulder,
What? Yeah, we did a good job. What?
pushing him towards Bonnie.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry it went down like that.
Did what we had to.
But not necessarily what we in our hearts wanted to do.
Hopefully he can be at peace now.
Silver linings.
Everybody okay?
Where is Arthur? I assume Arthur's still invisible.
Yes.
Yeah, very wisely. Yeah, he's not sure. He hasn't been sure whether he did something good or bad. He still doesn't know.
Bonnie, can you drop that?
He's going to.
Oh, she would have lost concentration with watching him.
I don't think it's concentration
disintegrate.
for the.
No,
Is
for
it
greater. For greater.
invisibility?
Greater. I have a concentration marker right next to it. I double checked it.
So then you should have been rolling. Well, it doesn't matter. Go ahead. It's locked. It drops.
Arthur, we need to get rid of that thing.
I far step over. I set it on the ground. I was like, this is the worst thing I could possibly imagine.
As you set it on the ground and stand up and step back from it, you notice Arthur's and all of you standing at the edge of the mist as the Darren's instant fortress shrinks back down as the wall of kidney stones crumbles down.
Brindlehooves!
Brindlehooves pops out of it. And
Well, he's got enough butter.
Val pops out of it. Whoever pops out of it.
He pops out through an arrow slot.
The wall of kidney stones crumbles down into nothing. Giant, well, I guess we're giant kidney stones. And you see from your visions last week, for the visions you just had, you see all of the people standing around you. And so, Bonnie, you see not your father, but you see Ari. Adelaide, you see your father, your brother, and Lawrence. Merrick, you see your mother and Margot. Val, you see your headmaster and Sam, and Arthur, you see Liara and
Wayuna.
all standing, sort of standing,
And a sandwich.
And a 6 foot or 12-foot tall sandwich, or 6 foot tall
It's a
sandwich.
dude in a mascot costume.
Just
Hi,
no, it's just an
Arthur.
actual sandwich. And they're all just kind of standing around you, looking, watching you.
Arthur, I know you think this is a terrible device, and I don't disagree, but you just threw around what needed to happen. I think you should do it. Get rid of it. Use it to remove itself from existence.
No
Try,
one should
at
be.
least.
No one should be able to do this.
Gladly. So, if that's all you want done, that's all I want done as well.
Are the
Shucks, everybody else?
is the crew back on the ship?
Oh shit! Right, the crew.
That's the first
Jasper-
thing I did, actually. So yeah.
Oh, good job.
Good call.
Good job.
Thanks for writing. I mean, there was like a slip of paper in Lyra's bag lunch that said, "Bring them back" or something.
Good job.
I pick up the manipulator and wish itself had never existed.
Give me a charisma check. Save, sorry.
Can I oh, I don't think I can use it on save.
Do you want to?
Or
I don't know if you can. What'd you get, Arthur?
17.
You're fine. Let's just move. So as you pick up the Nexus manipulator, what is it? You just want to remove it from the world?
What
Arthur,
Adelaide described to me?
Arthur, make sure it doesn't exist anymore.
From
Don't
now
phrase it in a
forward.
way that could make don't
Nothing
phrase
to
it
do
in
with
a
the
way that
past.
would change time.
So you won't be
Yeah.
changing
Right.
anything that it's done. You won't be bringing anybody back that it's hurt. You don't be putting away anyone that it created. You're just removing
What's
it so it no
done
longer
is
exists.
done.
And how permanent are you wanting that to be?
Permanent?
Like
With a capital
forever?
P.
Like the knowledge is removed from the world that nobody will ever know how to make it again.
Sure.
Okay. And the device fades and disintegrates from view. The two compasses drop to the ground, though they still exist. But the device itself and the plans that you have in your bag, a lot of the notes on it, all fade and become blank. So if you ever check on them, although all of your memories of it still exist, but you just aren't quite sure you could ever create this item again. Not that you created it the first time. And you hear one of the voices from around you, Liara's voice, say, "Well done. We are impressed." And you are all standing in Liara's kitchen. And several of the NPCs, and as we move through this next scene and you'll be talking to these people, you notice they all speak with one voice, even though every sentence a different NPC speaks. You are just speaking to the one person, and it switches every few moments. It'll switch to a new scene between the 5 scenes that you all had, either on the boat, at the training grounds, in Liara's kitchen, or at Adelaide's backyard, sans all of this screaming and yelling. And it kind of switches between these scenes, and the NPCs switch around, but they're not always the ones that belong there. They're not necessarily right. It just kind of shifts, and they speak with the one voice, even though it's the different NPCs speaking. It's the same entity that's speaking the whole time. And Liara and like I said, so I'm not going to tell you which NPC is speaking at any one time, because it's what you're speaking to is the Nexus, or the entity here in the Nexus. We tested you. We didn't know what you would do. We all agreed that the only way we could truly test you is to give you the power. Once you arrived here,
And who are you?
we are we.
What test? What have we proven?
To see what you would do
with
with
this test.
this technology you created.
We as in mortals, or we as in literally the Birchfield Institute, the six of us? What?
You are the
Five of us.
first to ever come here. We've never known of your kind.
Oh. Huh. Adelaide looks at them. First contact.
I hated it.
Terrible 0 out of 10. Would not make again.
Hatred we've come to understand from the one you called Sea Spray. We don't think that you are like Sea Spray.
No.
We're not.
What
Well,
is
the
it?
manipulator. Maybe I didn't hate it. It wasn't a bad manipulator. It just made bad decisions.
It was a tool created by your kinds.
With little consideration for its ramifications. So we made a decision for the good of the future.
All of our tests showed that your intentions seemed pure, that you cared more for each other than you did for yourselves, all except Sea Spray. Sea Spray only cared for himself. But we had to know how true your intentions were.
Why?
The alternative was to destroy you all,
Oh, there's that.
and the device with it.
Glad to have tested out well.
And as you are starting to
Agreed.
skim through these different scenes, you're realizing that the sky, the night around every one of these scenes, outside the windows and everything, is become incredibly vivid, more determined than anything you've seen. More stars and more brightness than you've ever seen before.
Is
Funny
this the
Beautiful.
Nexus?
That's your term for it. This is home.
Your home is beautiful.
The space between, you might call it.
Between what we're familiar with or somewhere else.
You would call them the planes.
And that tracks with what we know, sure.
We exist separate. We exist else.
Will anyone be able to create a manipulator again?
Never.
Better or worse.
Good.
So, I'm kind of curious, and got my wheels turning. The compasses, when they're on the different planes, can do different things. What can they do in between?
They look down at the compasses, which are still lying on the ground. They guide. And you can get the feeling that they're trying to explain something that's a bigger concept than you can understand. Something more than they don't have the words for.
Adelaide's gonna reach down and pick them up. Are these to be returned somewhere?
They were the creations of your kind. type of your kind. They're not for us.
Then it would not offend if we took them home.
When you return home, we hope you take everything with you.
Not to rush. There's so many questions. Adelaide just loses. She completely loses her train of thought at the realization of how many questions she has. Yeah. She goes speechless.
By everything, do you mean more than just ourselves? Is there something else here we need to get rid of for you?
I think they mean the lesson.
Liara smiles at you.
Bonnie picks up her violin from out of its case. And just begins to play a little bit, feeling compelled to.
Okay. They listen.
Very, very tiny tears in Adelaide's eyes.
And she starts to sing. How can one claim perfect love, perfect trust, and not know the wonders I know? Dreams are all well and good, but mine live and breathe. Who knew you came true, I suppose? If wishing on stars ever falls out of fashion, we'll move to the Pleiades with no backward glance. Maybe between worlds and blackness, I'll get up the nerve to finally ask you to dance.
And Merrick will hold out his hand.
And she'll take it.
All of the NPCs, all of the people around you start to look at each other like they're questioning, like they're speaking without saying anything. And one turns, and they all sort of nod and die coughing.
Oh no.
Oh god, Bonnie cast earworm.
No, I didn't. I swear. I didn't cast earworm.
Immunities.
And the Liara one turns back and is holding two items. A book and a small sphere. And she walks over to Bonnie. And she offers them.
Thank you.
Only take these to people you trust. But it is not meant to be a secret. It's meant to be shared. But it must be used. And he kind of turns and looks, and another one says, respectfully and responsibly. And another one speaks from behind you, although we would not hold you responsible for what others do. And Liara repeats, it is meant to be shared.
Thank you.
This will teach you how to return and visit. And all the building breaks away, and you are just standing with stars surrounding you in every direction. Thousands, millions more than you've ever seen on the darkest nights. You can actually see galaxies. It will help you return here and explore.
Thank you.
And all your questions can be answered. Though this will be the last time you see us. At least for now, and at least you. It will take you a long time to understand. But leave knowing that you have friends. And that we appreciate the lessons you've taught us as much as we hope you appreciate what we've taught you.
Very much so.
And behind you, the orange, or the world, this darkness actually parts, and you see sort of this swirling orange portal open up. What just happened?
We just got
Matthew.
a wheel.
Keep going.
Matthew spun the wheel
Of course he did.
as the portal opens up.
As the portal opens up, and unless there's anything else you want to ask briefly.
It wasn't our Matthew.
It wasn't our Matthew.
Oh.
Playing.
Keep playing.
He kind of gestures for you to head out, unless there's any other questions left.
Adelaide walks up to one of them and reaches out a hand to shake it.
Which one? Which one of the NPCs?
Lauren's.
Okay, so you reach over to Lawrence, your mentor, the drow mentor you've had since you were born, your father figure, and he shakes your hand back, although this is not him, just a representation, just a tribute. And he shakes your hand.
Just a tribute. It's been a singular pleasure.
I only know of your Lawrence what you know. But I think he would say the same. And as do I.
Takes a little too long for her to let go of that handshake. But she does. And that tear goes down.
Anyone else have anything to do before you leave?
I'm gonna pick up my mimic shield and
your dead mimic shield, the one, this constant companion that you've had, this magic item that was made from a mimic that's been able to turn into all of these things. As you reach down and pick it up, turns into a small little warm ball of fuzz and starts purring at you.
It lives!
Revealing that it has actually been alive this entire time. And now you finally know where your sandwiches have been going.
Is it a flurf?
No, it's not a flurf. It's like more like a dribble. It's about that size. It is your mimic is actually alive and it is definitely attached itself to you.
Excellent. Well, I ask it if it is ready to go home.
It purrs at you.
I am ready, and I'll step through the portal. I'm
right. And you step through.
I've had enough.
And everyone, I assume, starts to step through. Anybody have any last minute things there before we get you guys back onto the boat and on the way home?
Just one last thank you to all of them.
And they all just kind of nod. And
just before they leave the portal, Adelaide mutters to Bonnie,
"You know, I never really put much stock in gods till today."
And smiles.
Never question who's out there looking and watching.
And you, as you step through, you hear one kind of, they start to almost talk amongst themselves, and one says, "What is a god?" And the other one kind of whispers, "A celestial." And you hear, "Oh. Huh." And that's the last thing you hear as you kind of disappear out, appearing back next to the shattering, which closes. The electric energy fades, and there no longer exists a shattering here on Lamina Island.
Well, you all are welcome.
All's well that ends well.
I guess that's one way to fix a plug or plug a hole.
Fix a plug, huh?
Oh my god.
All right, now hold on.
I worked a 10-hour day before hopping on stream.
Mhm.
Damn it.
All right, so
Everything at peace, everything wonderful, nothing chaotic or wild magic-y at all about to happen. None of
Nope.
that. We all take a sigh of relief.
if we did not get a person for the Wheel of Causality, then we've got someone to choose.
No.
Wascally
Well,
Wabbits.
Mr. Mercer, would you like to choose who
We
you
need a
want
person
the wheel
to
for?
select to be
One of the
affected by
players is
wheel.
who's going to get Wascally Wabbit, or we'll just roll randomly, which is fine. Which that is.
Oh, Logan, I hadn't seen your background. I hadn't seen it. It's so pretty.
It's very
Oh,
good.
it's perfect.
Thank you.
While we're waiting.
Thank you, Bean.
All right.
Okay, so here we go.
Roll.
1, 2, 3,
Roll.
4.
He says roll for
What
him.
are we rolling? A d20?
That is, I got it. No.
No,
I got a, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Bonnie. So Bonnie, as you step out, please choose, let's see here, D6, small, medium, large. Please choose a large size creature for me.
A yak. What's the first thing that came to my
A what?
mind?
A yak?
A yak.
Okay, a yak.
What's
All
the
right.
first thing that came to mind?
So roll me percentile real quick as Wascally Wabbit
God.
triggers this freaky sort of magic poisoning that you guys have had for how long now? I don't even know. You've had it for a very long time.
70.
70. So
70%.
and then roll me a d6 for the final thing to see how big these are. As we the
2.
random magic chaos. Okay, so they're not that big. They're small. So as these basketball size, what'd you roll? 70? You said.
Yeah.
70 basketball sized stuffed yaks just sort of appear and fall from nowhere and start to kind of come down and land on you and around you as you step out of the portal in the middle of the jungle, as the magic poisoning that you have been dealing with the entire campaign continues to affect you, obviously. Closing the shattering did not fix that, but maybe we'll fix it in the future. And so you have these stuffed animals. You can take them with you. You can leave them here, Litterbug. And
No, we're not going to leave them in the middle of the jungle. That'd be wrong.
However, because of where you are, who you are, and since this was probably our last wheel, all of them seem to come alive and start to like jump around you and bleat at you, and they start following you out.
Anybody like
Whoa.
yak's cheese?
Wouldn't it just be cotton or something?
I was
They don't
gonna
bleat, do they?
say.
They're buffalo
You
or
mean
some kind.
thread?
Aren't they?
They're typically
They're gonna moo at you, I guess.
guess.
Wah. I'll make all the boy moose go wah. So,
But a very cute moose.
so we're gonna fast forward a little bit here. You guys make it back to the airship, which the entire crew is there, although a little confused, thanks to Arthur's being able to bring them back.
It's fine. You all exist. It's
You all
fine.
exist.
Bonnie,
Congratulations.
Full on hugs Captain Jasper. She's so happy he's okay.
Captain Jasper, who is the Goa, this sort of
Still made of
alabaster
stone.
character, but he's got a peg leg that's made out of gnarled wood that's kind of twisted into his alabaster golem sort of body. And he actually hugs you back and says, "I'm glad that you're okay. I'm very happy that you have returned to us. Are we ready to go?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks towards where the shattering was, this glowing energy, and he kind of frowns a little bit. "I don't know how this will affect my home, but it's probably for the best."
Glad to hear it.
And you guys have a 4-day journey home. And I think a lot of it's going to be introspection, and you probably talk a lot about what's happened. Is there anything in particular you guys need to say now, or are we going to
Well,
work on it when we
I have a
get back?
question for you, Logan. While Captain Jasper didn't exist, did he dream of sedimentary sheep?
Yes, he did. How long you been sitting on that one?
Oh, literally like 30 seconds.
Oh,
It's
okay,
fine.
good.
It wasn't that big a deal.
And Jasper has did make a startling discovery, though. Your yaks that now seem to have infested the ship now are little mounts for the flumps, which are fuzzy flumps for those out there who jump on them and ride them around the ship. Although they're so cute that he has stopped asking people to dispose of the vermin if they have a yak they're riding.
Why must you create these word pictures?
I didn't create it. You have to talk to the guy.
You combined the word
You have
pictures.
to talk to the donators. I think little tiny fuzzy
Flumps riding.
Flumps.
Oh my
Flumps.
god,
I think that's perfect. So, let's go ahead and take the next step here. Anything else you guys are going to talk about on the trip? Because we got some stuff to do when we get back that's kind of important.
We still have the compasses, right?
You have the compasses, but that's not going to be a huge deal.
I'm curious, Adelaide, at least see if they do anything.
They still point at each other here on this plane.
Okay. It's a little anticlimactic, but she's more than happy to have it not manipulating reality.
Bonnie does talk to Captain Jasper about his offer for her to stay on the ship and work it.
Anytime, as
She
soon as
says
you
that
want.
she says that she is still entertaining the offer. She's very tempted as soon as she wraps up her business and with the rest of
He says
her
they'll be
friends and
leaving a
figures out
couple
what's
of
going
days
on.
after they get back, and they will not be back for a year, he's expecting.
Okay.
So you'll need to figure it out within that couple of days.
Yeah. She says she'll try and figure it out before they leave.
Okay. All right. So when you guys arrive back, and you're going to be at the cliffside, so you're going to have a little bit of a journey on a normal boat, a normal water ship, as opposed to this airship, to come back to the city of Ashport. What's the first thing you're doing when you get there? Where are you going?
Asking Bonnie to look at that book. That probably would have happened during the boat, I realized.
So during the 4-day journey, you look over the book, and it is completely foreign to you. You have no idea what any of it. It's gibberish. You can't even find patterns involved in it. But they did say it would take a while.
Some high-level bullshit. I'm fucking excited.
Some of the diagrams are kind of weird. Like one of the diagrams is sort of like a clock face. And it's got some dimensions to it, but you can't really tell what the dimensions are. But at some point in one of them they've got like a person standing next to it, and it looks like it's maybe 10 or 12 feet tall. This gigantic clock face. It's very strange.
And Adelaide, Bonnie, is it alright if I hold on to this? Is that okay?
I don't mind at all. I do want to show it to Liara and Ig. Those are the two people that I trust the most.
I guess so.
Aside from us.
The two heads of the thieves guilds, they're the ones we trust the most. That's hilarious.
Well, compared to some of the other people we've had
I was going to say, the head of the Birchfield's not really the way to go, so.
No.
Adelaide puts a hand
I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Adelaide puts a hand on the book and looks Bonnie in the eye and says, "It's meant to be shared, so as long as we get it back."
I don't think they'll have an issue.
Well, it depends on what's in there.
There's that.
So you guys arrive back and you come back into Ashport. Where are you guys going first?
I mean, I'm very inclined to... I mean, we should probably deliver these and... Right? I mean,
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Where do you want to go, Eddie?
So Ig or Liara, if you're going to deliver them.
Eek,
I
I
would go to-
guess.
So
Yeah.
to the
If
birch
it's
field?
okay. I guess.
Sure.
All right.
Holding on to this stuff very closely
I'm going
for Ig's eyes
to go
only.
back to Liara if you'd like to. Do they belong together?
I don't know.
If we.
Well, if you want to go to Liara, we can all go together, I guess. Let's do
I
that
mean-
first. I see your face, Bonnie. Yes, we can go to Liara first.
After all the Birchfield has done, I can't say that I trust them to not use these to
Yeah. He's the only one I trust.
manipulate something.
Well, let's talk to Ig.
All right.
But
As you
sure.
arrive at the birch field,
Mm-hmm.
there are silver and gold proctors everywhere. Ada, you've never seen this many. There are also
Not there
town
were this
guard
many.
there. Dozens of town guard.
The hell? Was there like a robbery?
And
Someone's birthday.
there are several of the local
that
news guilds there as well.
What's going on?
And as the
No idea.
as the front door opens and people start to part, and you see coming out, surrounded by several gold and silver proctors and Helmsfar and a few of the city guard, you see Nosnavar shackled. And right
Sorry.
after,
No.
you see Director Birchfield in shackles.
Oh shit.
It is someone's party.
And you see several gold proctors come out in shackles, including the ones that falsified the documents that you found. And as Birchfield is coming out and he's being taken over, he sees Adelaide. And he leans over and he whispers, and the city guard waves Adelaide over.
I did not even think of anyone. I go forward.
I called the guard and I told them everything. For you. Because you were right. And he doesn't say anything else. He doesn't look at her. And unless she reaches out while he's in prison, he doesn't even say anything. But he turns and then is put into the wagon. And so are several dozen other people arrested that day, all in conjunction with the conspiracy to hide a murder and conspiracy to commit that murder, and to hide the truth about this potentially world-ending device that you were then questioned about. But they believe your story of what you said and the fact that the Admiral is dead. And the Birchfield is kind of thrown into chaos for a few days, a few weeks even. But Helmsfar is put as the head, at least the temporary head, and as things settle down. So the Birchfield seems like it's on the right direction, at least for now. We'll talk more about what happens from the fallout of that next week at our epilogue, but that's what happens in this moment.
What did he want? Are you okay?
For the first time since I've known him, he did the right thing. Oh, God damn the man.
I'm surprised you even know him.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I've wanted to be a part of this place for so long.
But under your own terms. Bonnie raises an eyebrow and smiles.
She puts a hand out to Bonnie. Adelaide Birchfield.
Nice to meet you. Bonnie Seaspray. Fuck it. Bonnie Reed.
Fuck yeah, you are.
Hold on.
At that moment, Ig walks up. Oh, he's finally starting to get it. I see. All right. Good job, Merrick.
Thank
You look a little different. Are you shorter?
No.
Are you sure? I swear you're about half an inch, maybe a quarter inch shorter.
No.
And
What?
your ears are a little lower.
Are you
Just a
taller,
little.
Ig?
No, it's just him. I'm sure it's nothing. Pats you on the back.
I'll have to
Well.
wait until we get to my kitchen because there's the.
Good job, everyone. You've done everything I've asked.
Fuck you. Good news, everyone.
I'm so proud. You did everything I asked, even without me asking. You've exposed the corruption within the Birchfield, which much better than I expect. I thought we'd have to kill all 3 dozen of those people, but no, you got them to get themselves arrested. That was great, and you saved the world. I'm very impressed. I think I'll have 2 slurries today.
No.
Mm.
The Birchfield will never recover.
The plumbing will never, ever.
So, do you have a moment?
I have lots of moments now that I get to quit and retire from the Birchfield.
Perfect. We have some things that we'd like you to take a look at.
Oh, sure. Let's go have a slurry.
One step at a time.
I'll have the slurry. Can I have my mug back now?
Jasper still has
I'll
it.
get it from him in a poker match again.
So how is it you transfer that thing again?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. You only know it if you own the mug.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that miraculous? And so you always head to the coffee shop and you end up showing him the book, the sphere, or both.
Up to Bonnie.
Bonnie will show him the sphere because Adelaide has the book currently.
Okay. So he'll take the sphere and he kind of looks over this weird kind of almost translucent sphere. You can kind of see that there's it's like kind of like a light bulb, like it's kind of see-through, but it's also white. And he's like, oh, this is very interesting. What do I do with it?
We're not sure yet.
All right. Well, that's very interesting.
It might have something related to this. And then she'll show him the book.
Okay. So he'll take the book.
Couldn't make heads or tails of it, but it seems maybe it's just a little over my head.
All right. So as he puts the orb on the table and then puts the book next to the table and opens it up, the orb starts to glow.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's interesting. And he starts to kind of flip through the book. Oh, this is... I don't understand most of this, but some of it's starting to sort of make sense. Not really, but I'm getting a couple of words here and there. Sort of. I don't know what this is about. This is going to take a long time to decipher, I think.
That's okay. We have nothing but time.
Something about this this large wheel.
Yeah, I saw that, the sort of tower.
Yes, I don't know what that is. It's strange.
Well, if it's any,
To be clear,
Clue?
Adelaide, there is no building, only a clock face. Just
Only
a
a clock face,
round clock
okay.
face.
Sorry, I thought you had
Nope, just a round
intoned
clock
that
face.
it was tall. All right. I'll show him the clock face.
Yeah.
section.
Oh, yes. This is.
Wow.
Oh, it's big. It's very big. Some sort of wheel. Well, this is boring. Not for me. Anything else?
Adelaide will defensively take the book and the orb and like hold on to them like
Cover the book's
oh,
ears.
here.
In case you and you haven't noticed yet, I'm a man of action. I much prefer movement over study.
Yes.
Yeah, we
If there's
know.
one thing I
We
knew about
know.
you, it was you preferred movement.
Next to go with his
Well.
guts, his bowels, if you
Yes,
will.
absolutely.
Well,
Mhm.
let's take this to Liara then, and
I
we
doubt
will,
she'll be
as soon as we
interested.
know.
She was never a studier. But you can try. Anyways, have a good
She
day.
is-
I'll see you later.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you,
Ig.
Ig.
Bye, Egg.
Come back next week and find out how I die.
No, fuck you! How dare!
Doing what he loves.
Alright.
He'll play the
I'm
parting
gonna- there's
glass.
the words Elvis Presley come to mind, but I'm not sure what that means. So
Or elvish or something.
Elvis
Elvis
Presley.
Presley.
Oh my god.
No, it's so gross.
So fuck, that was wrong. Sorry. It's too much serious tonight. We gotta have some fun. So you guys head off to Liara's. You show her the book as well. She's doesn't really understand it. She's it's like, do you have any try to make any more interest in her? She's not a scholarly type, so she really doesn't have anything in there that she's like excited about.
Bonnie talks about the possibility of exploration and the idea that there could be interesting finds to be had and
Okay.
that kind of thing.
All right. So you guys are sitting around in Liara's dining room, and she's kind of looking over it and going, you know, when you have the treasure, or when you know where these interesting finds are, please let me know. I'd be glad to take a look at them. But the work to get to the treasures, I prefer my treasure a little easier to find, and I'm a little too old to be treasure hunting.
I mean, you found me when I was young.
We said treasure, dear.
That's okay. I picked him up. Mary,
You-
did you want to look at the wall?
I found you and turned you into a treasure, much like the pressure of the earth turns coal into diamonds. Took just about that much work. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Adelaide,
Mom.
this time not defensively, but almost like satisfied and wistfully takes the book back and the globe. I guess we'll just have to find someone interested in the contents of this.
You might want
I
to
will
try
eventually.
maybe people at the Birchfield, the ones that do all the researchy stuff.
That is a
Yeah.
fabulous idea,
so-
Liara. Thank you so much for your insight. I agree.
Well, we just wanted to make sure that the not great ones were gone. That's you.
It
Well,
will
it
be
sounds like you did a fabulous job with that, although half of them were working for me, so we're going to have a talk. All right, 3 of them were working for me.
Sorry.
I had nothing to do with the murder.
Well, that's good.
Mm.
Well, I think with the situation at the Birchfield, I'm gonna turn Captain Jasper down for his posting. I might stick around a little closer to home.
Why?
Addie might need some help.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to keep an eye on Merrick.
There you go.
Jasper owes me a
Mm.
favor. Taking Merrick off my hands might be
Take my son, please.
I'm sure the two of you could go together if you wanted.
Yo ho.
The book.
Yo ho.
Now, to whom was that referring? They both look at you expectantly.
The book will still be here when you get back, I'm sure.
And I'm sure it will be a tangle of nonsense even when you do.
Bonnie has perfected
True.
the Adelaide eyebrow arch, which she
Well, there
then
you
narrows
go.
it at Merrick
Mhm.
after that one.
Works every time.
I mean, it's only a year.
That's true.
And, I mean, there are... what's involved in like, what can captains really, what are their authorities? What can they do?
You mean like as punishment?
Keel haul,
Are you-
walk the plank.
Are you expecting to be punished
Although-
often?
Walking the plank normally, you might be able to survive. Much less likely on Captain Jasper's ship,
Right.
unless you
mean-
can fly.
Keel hauling
yet.
would basically just be air surfing, right?
mean-
Sure, as long as it depends on where they place the rope. It could be anywhere from hanging to castration.
Ooh.
Wanting to be punished sometimes runs in the family.
No,
Liara
But keep
blushes
playing.
very slightly.
Oh my gosh.
I think
Not
I've learned
playing.
more today. No, punishment was not what I had in mind. I was actually thinking of something different. Staring at a 10-month-old version of myself was a bit of a shock.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, it's fine. He's dead. It's fine.
So you explained
Yeah.
the whole situation to your mother. Does that trigger the reminder that you might be a little shorter?
Oh, where's the on the wall? Is it? Yeah, right.
I'm sorry? The measuring thing right there?
Mhm.
So you
Yep.
see this measuring thing where it's Merrick's height from a kid up and up and up and up, and then for like 10 years in a row, it's at the exact same spot.
Just a really
There's a
deep
real
groove. in one
groove
spot.
and like the dates written next to it. Yes, you did go through that phase where you kept thinking and hoping, but and she's like,
The one
"I
time
did-
you stood on a box.
it has been a while, so if you want to if you really must." So, and she pulls out the little pencil and everything. All right, the ruler.
New information has come to my attention.
Take
and
off your
I need-
shoes. You know the
All
rules.
right, fine.
And you take off the shoes, and she goes ahead and marks you on the wall there, and she goes, "Huh? Did you lose weight in your feet? Or
just
maybe
took out the
maybe your
inserts.
ego has."
There wasn't a whole lot of salt on the ship, so I bet I have shed some water weight.
That must
Maybe
be it.
some bloating has
So
gotten.
you are
Mm.
just in between a quarter and a half inch shorter than you were before. 3/8 shorter
Puzzling.
than you were before.
No.
That's
All
I've never
that
seen
aside-
that. I mean, there's
Uh,
10 years here of you being the same height. That's amazing.
Will the wonders never cease?
What were you
Uh,
trying to say, Love?
Well, it got me thinking that there's really no time like the present.
Right, because we don't
And
touch the time stream.
no,
Ever
indeed
again.
not anymore. No. And I'll need all y'all to roll a perception check.
All right.
Oh, fuck is this?
Why did I lose control of the
Okay.
screen?
About 3 hours ago?
Perception check? 13.
15.
8.
Bonnie,
Passive is
check
higher
your
than that.
champagne glass.
my passive's
6.
higher than what I rolled. Freaking hell.
Right? What are you doing?
So Merrick kind of like, excuse me, and reaches up behind Bonnie's ear and pulls out a ring.
And then immediately she says no because you did fucking sleight of hand magic to do this. No, it's fine.
No. He didn't juggle them. It's fine.
He juggles the ring. He does a shell game.
Right.
Now, Bonnie, which was the ring item? Which is the...
Keep your eye on the ring. No, can captains marry people? Was my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
Did you think that
it
you're
was-
going to go away for a year and get married while you're gone?
You. I
Long engagements run in this family.
I'd listen to your mother, Merrick. Sorry, Pookie.
So would I.
Don't worry. A year will be plenty of time for me to get everything ready.
I think that means I have to say yes first.
He could still marry you when you get back, though.
Welcome to Shenanigoons. We love that you subscribed.
So fitting that it's Kyle
You
doing
tuned
this.
into Shenanigans,
Right?
and no one here was bribed.
And I'm gonna make him
Mayhem.
wait until after this is over
Magic.
for Bonnie's answer.
Mystery.
Because this is what time
Is
passing in Merrick's head
usually
is
the
like
vibe.
right now.
Yep,
So
exactly.
strap in for
A slightly off rhythm Shatner impersonation.
You're awesome. You subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you for the subscription.
Absolutely yes.
Hey.
perfect.
Oh, like she was going to say anything else. Welcome to the
Make
family,
sure.
dear. And she kisses you on the forehead.
As Adelaide like looks over Liara's shoulder at Bonnie.
And we have a wheel for Merrick.
Oh my gosh. The
Oh,
wheel of proposal. I love it. Let's do our wheel real quick here. See what
Go,
Merrick
go,
suffers
go, go.
through here in the last.
Wheel of causality. Turn. Find
little
out
bit
how
here.
this wedding will be fucked up.
Burn.
I don't know. I lost it. I lost the trail.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Here we go. Wheel of causality.
Oh boy.
Probably the last one of this campaign. Oh,
Come on,
perfect.
Come on.
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
What is this one?
All right.
What do
so
I have to do?
Razzle dazzle is each scene the player must include a quote from a non-Disney musical, character
favorite
or
one.
song. So non-Disney's, you have to use non-Disney musicals. You have to do musicals that are not Disney. You have to include a quote or a line from a song in every scene, and we're going to make that several times before we end here. So you got to figure that out. I don't know how you're going to do that.
Merrick, you just got engaged. You're in love. I'm going to be terribly disappointed with you if you can't come up with a fucking musical song. Go.
Well,
Half of them are about love.
Oh god.
Us.
Oh god.
I suppose I'll
Gee,
have
thank
to
you for the gifts.
give him the old razzle dazzle.
I'm going to turn that down just because we're going to be here for 10 minutes if we don't, but thank you so much. Well, I'll leave a couple going.
I thought we had to do non-Disney musicals.
This is a
Technically not
knockoff.
Disney.
not
This is a
Disney.
Disney knockoff.
So you could do the Shrek musical and it would be valid.
Oh, fair enough.
That's DreamWorks, so.
And the musical
Disney
was
doesn't own
Broadway.
them yet.
That would be fucking hilarious. Disney own a movie that makes fun of them,
And
like in a mean-spirited way.
Shenanigans, you're awesome, you subscribe. You tuned into the Shenanigans and no one here was bribed. No mayhem, magic, mystery is usually the vibe. The vibe. Strap in for Shenanigans, you're awesome, you subscribe.
I now hear the no the. It sounds like no the, but no the, and I love that.
Welcome to
No.
Shenanigans, we love that you've subscribed.
Oh, the little squid that has a ukulele.
You've never
You
seen
just
it?
noticed that?
No.
I think that was the first time the Beastie Boys one was heard on channel. How fitting it was on our last full season. Oh, it's the
Extended
joke one.
play.
Speak one.
All these songs are thank you to Matthew Siebert. Well, the first song was Matthew Siebert. Not that you've heard that tonight. He sung the first one. He made this idea come to life. Val wrote the lyrics. And
Carl?
is that all of them?
I think that's all
I
for
think
you.
I think that's all of them.
Might
Yeah.
be it. Okay. Action.
Okay. Where were we?
Don't know.
Liara was giving Liara.
Yes.
Adelaide did family to Bonnie, and Liara looked at Arthur with kind of a weird look.
Oh. Oh yeah.
But then it
How
kind
weird
of
of a look.
fades, and she goes and gets some more food and puts it on the table. Thank you.
Did I like take the look and like put it in my pocket for later?
I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna think about that one. That one's gonna take longer than the book to decipher.
It's longer than the year.
Well, it's maybe
So-
not quite as long as the year if it. Never mind.
So
Maybe
what
only
else-
9 months to decipher. I
So
don't
what
know.
else over the next few days are you guys going to be doing as we wrap up? You guys have nothing else to do. There's all director and proctor work has been frozen until the Birchfield gets back on its feet. There's really literally nothing for you to be doing. Bonnie, you have to make a decision if you're leaving. If you do ask, Jasper says that Merrick absolutely can join the crew as well. That's up to you. Otherwise, he'll be back in a year, and you're welcome to join then, if you still want to.
It's only a year, Bonnie. I won't take offense.
I have sending. We can talk to you still.
I'm pretty sure that home isn't on a ship anymore.
Ew,
It's with you
gross.
guys. Yeah, it's you big mess.
No argument.
Although I do send a sending to my mother because she needs to know about sea
One,
spray.
that you're alive, and two, that
And two, that I'm
Yeah.
engaged because I actually said yes to someone this time.
that should be
Yeah,
the
that's-
last thing you
Just-
tell her. By the way, I'm engaged. Just the last
Yep.
5 words.
Yep.
That's it.
But yeah, mom had to face sea spray. I'm okay. Everything's all right now. By the way, I'm getting married.
Bye.
The response is 25 words of
Just
in a very
that,
happy,
then a
excited
breath.
way.
Then another scream. 25 of those.
Yes,
She got a real good core workout with all of that screaming.
yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Arthur, did you have anything?
Is now the time?
It's within a week or so. I thought you said of being back.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would have started by talking to Liara, I assume.
Yeah, I tell her what I wish to do.
She agrees without hesitation.
Oh, okay. I take that look out and
Like,
Save it.
oh. Huh.
I'll put that out. So, yeah,
So
We-
dinner, I assume.
yeah,
Okay. Or
Oh, we
breakfast.
have dinner?
Probably breakfast. Well, I'm saying breakfast with the group. That's when.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else
Oh,
need
for
to
them?
be there? Well, I don't know. What are you going to do? Sorry to be cryptic, everyone.
It's just so what happens is when you guys wake up towards the end of the week, there is breakfast ready for you.
Well, I don't think everyone's
but
staying
you don't see-
at their place.
Or we invite them over for breakfast.
Yeah, I would say we invite them over for breakfast. Now, are you?
I'm
is
not
it-
there.
You're not there, so they're not
Yeah.
going to see what happens.
Hmm. No.
Okay. All right. So we'll do a flashback to that scene. So go ahead and invite it over for breakfast. What is waiting for them?
There is you're expecting to see Liara in the kitchen cooking and all this commotion and stuff. But when you arrive, there is breakfast made for you. But Arthur and Liara are not anywhere to be seen. So
Merrick, you would notice that there are some key things that you thought would never ever disappear, small things that are some of the most important things to your mother, that if they were even out of place she would be very upset. They are not in the house. But breakfast is hot and ready as if it was just put out. Go ahead, Arthur.
So you guys, I assume you guys sit down, and sitting, resting on the center of the table is a letter. I'm assuming one of you would pick it up to read it.
It's probably a howler.
Oh, God.
And 1 second. Maybe.
Are you going to make us all cry?
It reads, "Hello, hi, hey now, it's me, your favorite archaeologist, the one who always goes left, the food connoisseur, the easy-go-lucky, sometimes aloof guy, the one writing to you now, Arthur Dunbar, the son of Gunther, Harriet Dunbar. Yes, they're alive. I am hardcore. I've taken this moment to reach out to you to say farewell. And try explaining where it is I've gone, why I've left. If possible, thank you for being who you are, all at the same time."
And we take this moment to cut back to when Arthur asked Liara to go away with him, and she said without hesitation, "Wherever you want to go. I've never been happier than when I'm with you." And she starts to pack. Go ahead.
Do you want me to explain what happens after that?
No. Go ahead and read the letter. I'll cut in with the scene.
Surely, this is the most planned thing I've done in quite a while. Just as surely, it's bound to go completely sideways and off the rails as all of our adventures. First, goodbye. For now, I know that may not have been the way you would have chosen as a departure, reading a letter. But for me, it's the only way. Whether it be fate, coincidence, the gods, or that pesky butterfly effect thingamajiggy, I'm certain that our paths will cross again. When they do, I shall smile and hug you comfortably. Most likely invite you out to a meal, so we can quickly catch up on things where they left off.
And you see Liara packing up the most precious of her tchotchkes, the things that remind her of her family. Each one of them has their own meaning, and she wraps them very carefully and places them inside of her bag of holding. And then we fade to the morning when they're starting to make breakfast. Go ahead.
You see, as soon as I received the Well of Many Worlds, I knew that was my destiny. To set off on epic land adventures, seeing new worlds, discovering each of their pasts by digging them up, gently. But most importantly, being able to taste every new cuisine that will be available until the end of times. I have all of you to thank for this wonderful mindset, this realization. I've realized that traveling to new places and discovering everything I possibly can about that place is who and what I want to become. Not on the coattails of my loving parents, but on my own, making my way down every less traveled path. So thank you. I appreciate you. I always will. Below, you will find a few kind words that I thought were necessary to voice to each of you, to somehow thank you for everything you've done for me.
And you see Liara putting gently at each place setting as Arthur reads off. I assume you're about to read off individual people's names. I haven't looked at it, so I have no idea. You see her rolling into each one of your napkins a note from her as where she would assume you would sit.
Adelaide. The well. The deep hole in which it all began. I will be forever grateful for that opportunity to cross whips with you. Even if it was an accident of your own doing, I'm glad you did. For I'm quite certain that the path in which it started me down wouldn't have been one I would have followed on my own. You are and will forever be someone I admire. Please know that for all my sarcastic remarks directed your way at your expense, there was love, admiration, and honor hiding just behind them. If ever you decide to raise a glass again, no matter the contents, alone or among thousands, please know that I've got my glass raised as well. A simple cheer of remembrance and thanks. Bonnie. Lovely, beautiful, fashionable Bonnie. Yes, don't worry, I know. You're also a strong, independent, intelligent, dangerous pirate. You're the strength of character others can only strive for. Behind those soft blue eyes, behind the canvas sail of pain, standing behind the wheel of the ship is pure confidence. I've only been able to see a glimpse, but that tiny glimpse I've been privileged to witness could captain an entire fleet around the world and be back before second breakfast. I can't wait for the rest of the world to be able to witness this as well. Oh, nice hat. Val, my Wayuna sibling. The nights were better for having you along to teach you, just as I was better off having met you in battle that fateful day. Wayuna has mentioned your name to me several times as someone they were proud of, which made me proud to know you, as well as strive to be similar someone who they would speak just as highly of. You're one of the talented few that can say more with silence than an entire novel. Great things are surely in store for you. While our journey may be parting ways in the current time, I'm glad that we will one day reunite with Wayuna at our sides and have third dinner together. Merrick. Finally, Merrick. Simply put, and let's be honest, I'm best at putting things simply. Pudding. With a dollop of fresh whipped cream. Butterscotch pudding pie with a healthy portion of warmed cinnamon toast.
All of these things are on the table for breakfast.
Sorry, my mind wandered off there a bit. Where was I? Yes, Merrick.
And there are dirty dishes for second versions of all of them in the sink.
Merrick, you, sir, are the greatest. Please know that every bit of shit I've given you in the past was delivered with the utmost admiration, appreciation, and regard. Served on a silver platter, painstakingly shined to perfection with one of your child-sized shirts. I love you. I love you for who you are, for what you've taught me, for how you treat others, and for your mom. Just think how often we may be able to avoid each other at all the family functions, if all goes well. Seriously, though, thank you for accepting me for who I am, which is at times hard to accept. I'm truly proud to be able to call you an F word. Friend. Until next time, farewell.
Signed, your dad.
Signed.
And then he
Signed,
the
your new
little
dad.
carrot step.
So we then see them finishing up putting the breakfast down, Arthur and her eating, them putting those dishes away and putting the second breakfast down for you guys as they pick up their gear, and without even Arthur having to prompt, she says, "I'm ready." He opens the Well of Many Worlds, and beyond it, you see this beautiful, lush, green fields, nice, beautiful forests, a blue sky, large mountains off in the distance, a near perfect paradise. And roaming these fields are these gigantic, furry creatures, Arthur. They are gigantic hamsters, and they are grazing.
Oh my, and we've got a new subscriber.
And you turn into a Disney princess and go and love all of them.
I pet all of the hamsters.
Dances and twirls around in his new skirt, and it's just beautiful.
So, and as we step through, is there any more to describe?
Yes, I do. Hold on.
Okay.
So, thank you for the subscription. So as you step through, we cut back to everyone unrolling their napkins and finding the notes. And Merrick, inside of yours is also one of your mom's favorite Lotus bracelets. Right? Lotus? Yes, Lotus.
Yep.
Yeah. And you start to read your notes. Val, yours says, "Thank you for protecting them." Adelaide, yours says, "Sorry, I took your booze." Bonnie yours says, "Keep him always. He's worth it." But then in parentheses underneath it says, "Don't tell him I said that." And Merrick, yours says, "The estate is yours. The family is yours. For now, until Bonnie is ready." I love you very much, girls. I love you very much. And I will see you again. So don't sell any of my stuff. And it's got a big heart and it says, "Mom." And then there's a PS underneath that says, but it's in the same handwriting, "Your father says hi."
Well, I suppose the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return.
And as we got back and see Arthur and Liara step through the portal, the Well of Many Worlds, as they begin their journey on the planet of the giant space hamsters, the portal closes behind them and they are gone. And that, my dear friends, is the end of Shenanigoons. We will find out what the future holds, what the next few years holds for our characters with our epilogue session. We'll kind of take a glimpse into their futures. We will also do an AMA next week, and we will talk a little bit more about what's coming next. Although I will say that there were several hints in tonight's episode about the what is coming. And I'm very, very excited about it. And the next, some people are asking for timelines. So what we're hoping for, I'm hoping that February 24th will be our first episode, but I cannot guarantee that. We're trying to make sure all the art, all the music, which Will Crosswade is producing for us, and everything is all done and ready to go before we launch. So we will hopefully in the next 2 weeks be able to announce when that will launch. Follow us on @WeAreNerdsmith on Twitter for anyone who wants to post the Twitter link. That's the best way to find out the details. We want to thank Die Hard Dice for being our sponsor. They're an amazing company. If you want to roll with the best, you roll with Die Hard Dice. And thank World Anvil, of course, who has believed in us more than any company or any group of people or anyone in the world. They have just been incredible. Thank you to everyone who's donated today, and especially thank you to our friend Matthew Mercer, who stopped by and
holy
tweeted
crap.
out about us, which is
Yeah.
very, very exciting to have him here. He's I think he came by once before as well, like a year and a half ago, right when we started, and it's just, I know he's a busy guy, and it's just nice to see him here. But thank you everyone who's come from there. Thank you for all the follows tonight. We hope to see you again. We do a lot of different shows on this network, but Shenanigans is always right here Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. PST, and that's where we're at. And we will be here next week. We'll be talking all about the epilogue, and talking about what the ending of the characters as they kind of fast forward through their lives, and see what they accomplished, and we'll learn a little bit more about what the book and the orb were about, and that's that. So please send us your questions on Twitter. Come to the Discord. We'll be hanging out in the Discord for about the next half an hour for some aftercare if you want to talk or chat or whatever, and we can answer questions. And yeah, we'll be talking about that in the Twitter. So come over, or to our Discord. So come over to the Discord, and we will chat there for about half an hour as we do after every show. Anything else, guys? Am I missing anything?
Tomorrow, if you're not doing anything on your lunch break, Logan and I will be on Discover RPG
Noon
here
PST.
on the channel.
We do Discover RPG, which
Shoot the shit.
shoot the shit for an hour, talk about RPGs and fun stuff and about DMing and stuff like that. And then tomorrow at 4 p.m. PST, we've got Obscurum. It's their second to last episode, which is a City of Mist RPG. So we got that coming. So
Noir, black and white.
Yep.
Very
Sin
good
City-esque.
stuff.
So
Very
all right.
City.
Oh my gosh, I'm space dude here now. I forgot about that. So anyway,
Sorry.
thank you guys very, very, very much. You guys are amazing. We really couldn't do this
yes.
without you all. And thank you guys so much. I very sincerely want to say that to everyone who's here, who has been here. I know there's a lot of new people, but those people that have been here and stuck with us, thank you. It really means the world to us all that you're here. And I don't know how else to say it. I guess I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope that my sincerity comes through with how much it means to us. So thank you all. We love you. We'll be in the Discord for some aftercare if anybody needs to unwind or just goof around, or if you just want to come ask questions and say hi. We will be there.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you guys next week right here on the Shenanigoons.
Damn it!
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.